Chapter 2908. You won't be able to defeat him. Hong Lian smiled bitterly inside. However, it was already too late to say anything now. Jiang Chen was facing certain death as he constantly clashed with the fire mastiff. With the might of the Chill River Stone, he was able to unleash a few impressive attacks. However, after the attacks, Jiang Chen was unable to use the Chill River Stone again. His presence had also become extremely weak. At that moment, the Chill River Stone began to violently backfire. What Jiang Chen had worried about had still happened in the end. The true fire of the five elements constantly resisted the coldness from the Chill River Stone, but the coldness was just too powerful. The true fire of the five elements struggled to resist at all. The weak true fire of the five elements was suppressed to the point where it could not rise up in Jiang Chen's dantian. It was like a trembling child that had seen a burly man. It could not fight back at all. Even the blood in Jiang Chen's body seemed to flow more slowly. Not only was the coldness from the Chill River Stone cold to the outside world, but it was also damaging to himself. It made things rather difficult for Jiang Chen, but at that moment, he had no path of retreat. He could only advance. Ha ha ha, this is your retribution. Do you think a supreme imperial weapon is that easy to use? Let alone you, even I can't activate the Chill River Stone, the fire mastiff sneered. Jiang Chen's overestimation of his abilities made it even more hilarious. He was completely trying to look impressive at his own cost. He had not even used the Chill River Stone's power, yet he had forcefully used it now. He would only reap what he had sown. At that moment, the fire mastiff did not even need to do anything. It was very likely that Jiang Chen would be devoured by the coldness from the Chill River Stone and die for good. Sigh. Hong Lian sighed gently. Was it going to be over in the end after all these years of waiting? Originally, they believed that Jiang Chen would definitely be entrusted with great responsibility in the God's tomb, and Hong Lian had seen how he had progressed step by step. Jiang Chen's rise was definitely a rising star. It was just a pity that luck was not on his side. They had actually encountered the ancient fire mastiff here. Since ancient times, the number of fire mastiff beasts did not exceed 3. Their luck was really too good. Hong Lian knew that the backlash of the frigid river stone had already begun. It was impossible for Jiang Chen to endure its coldness. Even the five elemental true fire was extremely weak right now, about to be extinguished at any time. How could Jiang Chen resist the fire mastiff? Even so, it was difficult for him to even protect himself. It's time, it's fate. The fire Kirin murmured. He had already chosen to accept his fate, but he had no regrets. To be able to befriend a human like Jiang Chen in this life, the fire Kirin would have no regrets even if he died. Jiang Chen clenched his teeth. At this moment, he knew that he had been forced to the edge of life and death. He definitely could not let Hong Lian look down on him, in order to save others, and even more so, in order to save himself. Ha ha ha, I don't need to do anything anymore. Just accept the backlash of the frigid river stone and die. The fire mastiff sneered. Jiang Chen's myriad chi body, the fire Kirin, the sword, his pagoda, and finally the red lotus karmic fire. It could eat them all. Once it devoured all of them, it would definitely break through to the emperor realm. At that time, it would truly be a peerless expert that would descend upon the world. It's too early to be happy now. Jiang Chen Lung smiled. His emperor realm soul instantly spread out and covered the entire 9 Pinnacles mountain, including the fire mastiff beast. Red Lian's expression also changed. This is the Emperor Realm's soul? The fire mastiff beast cried out. Hong Lian was completely shocked as she looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. Even the craftsman god only had the Emperor Realm's soul back then, and that was because of his millions of years of forging and his peerless talent. However, the craftsman god was already in the divine Emperor Realm at that time. However, Jiang Chen was only a divine king. How could he have the Emperor Realm's soul? Although they were shocked and in disbelief, it was the truth. Jiang Chen's Emperor Realm's soul was extremely overbearing at this moment. Even the fire mastiff beast could not be compared to Jiang Chen. How could the Emperor Realm's soul be achieved so easily? In the divine Emperor Realm, only a few peerless geniuses or people with great luck could achieve it. This is impossible. The fire mastiff beast finally sensed the danger. Although a divine king could not activate the cold river stone, the Emperor Realm soul was undoubtedly terrifying. It could definitely make the cold river stone unleash its power. The fire mastiff knew how terrifying the soul of an Emperor Realm expert was. Although he was not strong enough, he could only run away if he encountered an expert with the soul of an Emperor Realm expert. However, Jiang Chen's strength was too weak. A divine king fella possessing the soul of an Emperor Realm expert. This was simply unbelievable and unheard of. There are many things that are impossible. For example, you can't defeat the Cold River Stone. At least not now. Jiang Chen's smile became wider. Although his Emperor Realm soul was injured and could not recover in a short period of time, at least at this moment, he forcefully used the Emperor Realm soul to activate the Cold River Stone. It would definitely shock everyone. If the Fire Mastiff beast wanted to resist the power of the Cold River Stone, it would depend on his ability. Even if you can activate the Cold River Stone, so what? I would like to see if my original beast fire is stronger or if your Cold River Stone is stronger. The Fire Mastiff beast roared angrily and continuously beat its chest. The sound was deafening and the flames in its eyes were more than 3 feet long. Original Fire Seed. Burn. The Fire Mastiff beast's strength caused Red Lotus and the Fire Cheelant's expressions to change. They trembled and retreated, escaping from the center of the Fire Mastiff beast's flames. Jiang Chen stood proudly in the void, facing the Fire Mastiff beast. The Cold River Stone in his hand shone with a cold light once again. The surrounding temperature dropped to negative hundreds of degrees Celsius. Compared to before, it was countless times colder. Even Red Lotus comic fire was greatly suppressed. The Fire Cheelant could not resist this terrifying coldness at all and shivered. A touch of coldness moves the world. The Cold River Stone was unleashed in an instant, becoming as big as a mountain, almost blocking the volcanic crater of the Nine Pinnacles Mountain. Under the cold air, the Fire Mastiff's beast origin flame kept burning, but it was suppressed by the cold air of Jiang Chen's Cold River Stone. Even the Fire Mastiff's fire seed was shrinking. Chapter 2909. Damn it, this Cold River Stone is actually so terrifying. The Fire Mastiff was extremely furious. It had originally thought that Jiang Chen had shot himself in the foot and was digging his own grave. However, it had never thought that this guy would actually possess an Emperor Realm soul. This was completely out of its expectations. It was imaginable how powerful an Emperor Realm soul was. Coupled with a peerless Emperor weapon like the Cold River Stone, it instantly lost the initiative. Even its origin beast fire was completely suppressed. It could not do anything at all. The Fire Mastiff continued to struggle but to no avail. The Fire Mastiff was already panicking. It's too terrifying. A peerless Emperor weapon. Hong Lian said in a low voice. She turned to look at Jiang Chen. At that moment, he was like an invincible god of war sent by the heavens. Waves of cold air accompanied by ice and snow covered the Nine Pinnacles Mountain that was originally burning with flames. The Fire Mastiff beast's fire seed could hardly breathe under Jiang Chen's pressure. The source of his life was his beast fire seed. However, Jiang Chen's Cold River Stone had safely pressed him under the mountain. The cold air was oppressive, causing his beast fire seed to drop again and again. The endless fire seed had turned into a star fire. No, I can't accept this. Why do you possess an Emperor Realm soul? Why? The Fire Mastiff was incomparably furious. The unwillingness in its heart was written all over its face. It had never thought that it would be defeated by a divine king human. Furthermore, the coldness of the Cold River Stone was constantly devouring and suppressing its beast fire. Its life force was also becoming weaker and weaker, to the point where it was on the verge of collapse. The suppression of the Cold River Stone was too terrifying. Even though they were affected by a little bit, Hong Lian and the Fire Cheelant still felt extremely pressured. However, the Cold River Stone's true target was the Fire Mastiff. The Fire Mastiff continued to attack its origin beast fire. However, it was to no avail in the end. It was as if it had been devoured by the Cold River Stone. Its origin beast fire was already on the verge of being extinguished. It's over, Fire Mastiff. This will be your end. Jiang Chen said coldly. The Cold River Stone suppressed the Fire Mastiff with lightning speed. The Fire Mastiff roared continuously. However, there was no response. All that was left was endless pain and struggle. The Cold River Stone completely suppressed the Fire Mastiff. The originally fiery red Nine Pinnacles Mountain was replaced by a terrifying cold air. The Fire Mastiff had completely lost its ability to fight. Its huge body collapsed. The entire Nine Pinnacles Mountain shook slightly. However, Jiang Chen also knelt on one knee and finally collapsed. At this moment, Jiang Chen's Emperor State soul was heavily injured once again. This was because he was too weak. His soul was also injured, which was why he was so passive. If his soul was not injured, there would not be such a huge backlash. Even if there was some damage, it would definitely be within the range that Jiang Chen could endure. However, the backlash from the cold river stone had caused his soul to be in extreme pain. The cold air entered his body. Jiang Chen was facing the judgment of death. Time passed by. Jiang Chen's body was almost frozen. Jiang Chen. Hong Lian's eyes were filled with tears of blood. She cried out involuntarily. However, Jiang Chen's body was completely frozen at this moment. The entire Nine Pinnacles Mountain had turned from a volcano to an extremely cold place. The surrounding temperature had also reached a terrifying level. What's going on? Why is it so cold all of a sudden? That's right. Why did the temperature drop so much? I don't know. The Nine Pinnacles Mountain was originally a volcano. Why did it become so cold? The entire Nine Pinnacles Mountain is frozen. Look. The elders of the 10 great sects looked at the Nine Pinnacles Mountain solemnly. The Nine Pinnacles Mountain had actually turned into an extremely cold ice mountain at this moment. Who would dare to believe that? However, the divine world was huge. There were all sorts of strange things. Everything was reasonable. In the divine world, there was nothing that was impossible. Jiang Chen. Could it be Jiang Chen? Ling Yun gritted her teeth and said with a gloomy expression. There was a trace of blood at the corner of her mouth. Currently, their earthly fire heavenly lightning sect was being suppressed by the 10 great sects and the entire blood tool sect. Even Ling Yanyu was being attacked from all sides. As one of the top 3 experts in the stellar sky boundary, Ling Yanyu would have been killed if not for his strength. 2 fists could not fight against 4 hands. Even so, he still managed to create a path of blood. Chu Fengji and the others from the blood tool sect could not take him down at all. Could it really be that kid? Could it be that he's still alive? A sliver of curiosity rose up in Ling Yanyu's heart. He was covered in quite a few wounds as well. He had already killed 2 god kings in this battle, but it was a pity that the other side outnumbered them, so he was unable to overwhelm them all. However, the mightiness of a peak divine king had caused them to be cautious. They did not dare to risk their lives. But if this continued, they would definitely be defeated. The experts of the 10 great sects would continue to arrive, and the blood tool sect was the headquarters of the 10 great sects. Ling Yanyu had already thought of retreating from this battle, but there was nothing he could do right now. He couldn't escape from their attacks. If this goes on, the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect might very well perish in his hands. No! Yu-Er's face was pale as she cried. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die. Big brother. Yu-Er's cries shook Ling Yun's heart. She cried her heart out, causing her to be disheartened. Even Yu-Er thought that Jiang Chen was dead. There's no reason for him to be alive. Because Yu-Er had the ability to predict the future. Others might not know, but Ling Yun knew it. Jiang Chen was a prodigy, yet he still met his end. His life aura has already disappeared. The Fire Qilan's heart was filled with sorrow. What he was worried about had happened. Jiang Chen suffered from the cold river stone's backlash. Adding on to the fact that his soul was damaged, he would definitely die. However, Jiang Chen still chose to face the battle stubbornly. The final scene had already appeared in his mind. His soul aura is also gone. Hong Lian's eyes were completely bloodshot. All of this happened because he wanted to save her. The enmity between them was difficult to explain. Jiang Chen's body was completely frozen by the cold qi released by the cold river stone. The backlash caused Jiang Chen's body to be heavily injured, unable to resist at all. His body and soul were frozen. Heaven and earth, Tao of nature. The Tao of freedom, dream of Nanshan. These words resounded in Jiang Chen's mind. His soul actually recovered a little at this moment. However, the cold qi of the cold river stone was too powerful. Or it could be said that Jiang Chen's strength was too weak to fight against it. Am I still alive? Is my soul still here? Chapter 29:10. Jiang Chen's soul had regained a bit of consciousness from the soul shock. However, he didn't know how long it would take for his soul to wake up again. It might even take millions of years. There might not even be any results. Hong Lian's heart shuddered violently. She suddenly raised her head as a gleam of excitement flickered through her eyes. This was because she could sense that Jiang Chen was still alive. It was an almost undetectable presence of his soul. Jiang Chen isn't dead yet, Hong Lian said gravely. The fire Qilin also exclaimed. Really? To be exact, he isn't completely dead yet. However, his aura is far too weak. Hong Lian shook her head. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. Therefore, she only hoped that she could find a chance in this rare opportunity. It's almost inaudible. The fire Qilin nodded. He couldn't feel it. Only when Hong Lian said so did he feel hopeful. Right now, Jiang Chen's entire body and soul are frozen. It's almost impossible to help him recover. The fire Qilin murmured gravely. The fire Qilin's heart was incomparably solemn as it muttered to itself. At the very least it was helpless. There's still a chance. Hong Lian's face was red as she said softly. As long as I can fuse with him, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus can melt the extreme coldness of the cold river stone. Then, Jiang Chen can recover. The fire Qilin looked at Hong Lian in shock. To her, it would definitely be a great injury. It might even be irreparable. If Jiang Chen and I can't wake up, then take me and Jiang Chen away from here. Bury us in a place where no one will ever know. Perhaps one day, when the sky is boundless and the sea is boundless, we will wake up one day. Hong Lian smiled and said calmly. Since she had already made up her mind, she wouldn't leave any regrets. All right. The fire Qilin nodded heavily. He was able to survive because of Jiang Chen's desperate struggle. Even if he had to sacrifice his life, he wouldn't let anyone harm them. The fire Qilin turned around and left, leaving enough space for the Red Lotus. Hong Lian stared at Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen was like an ice sculpture. The entire volcano of the Nine Pinnacles mountain was also covered in ice. The mountain of fire had almost become a mountain of ice. Whether you can survive or not will depend on this. If you can be in perfect harmony, it means that you are not fated to die. Red Lotus gently took off her silk dress. She was as beautiful as a fairy. Devastatingly beautiful. Her jade-like body was breathtaking, her beauty unmatched. Hong Lian hugged Jiang Chen, who had already been frozen into an ice sculpture. At that moment, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus engulfed the two of them. Endless flames shot up into the sky. One could only see Hong Lian hugging Jiang Chen within the raging flames. Their bodies were tightly pressed together. The source of the karmic fire of the Red Lotus was a little stronger than the cold energy of the cold river stone. After all, it wasn't breaking the seal of the cold river stone, it was only breaking the energy of its backlash. Even so, it was exceptionally difficult. The karmic fire of the Red Lotus continuously circled around Jiang Chen. The ice melted, the ice melted. Jiang Chen's heart, Jiang Chen's soul, and Jiang Chen's body were all changing bit by bit. Time passed. Day after day, year after year. After 3 years, Jiang Chen's body finally melted completely. The ice on Jiang Chen's body had completely melted. His body was also extremely cold. The source of the karmic fire of the Red Lotus had almost been completely used up in these 3 years. Hong Lian was completely exhausted. However, her efforts were not in vain. Jiang Chen had finally awakened from the ice sculpture. His soul and body had also recovered to an extremely good state. She used the karmic fire of the Red Lotus to ignite the 5 elemental true fire in his heart. Moreover, they were in perfect harmony. Almost half of the source of the karmic fire of the Red Lotus had been integrated into Jiang Chen's body by Hong Lian. Is he finally going to wake up? Hong Lian murmured. She was extremely happy in her heart. Even though she was on the verge of death and the source of the karmic fire of the Red Lotus was about to be extinguished, Jiang Chen was still alive. As long as she still had a breath left, she would definitely not die. However, it was different for Jiang Chen. If she did not use the source of the karmic fire to save him, he would have died. Who knows how many tens of thousands of years it would take for him to recover. Even if his soul still had a breath left, it would not be easy for him to wake up. Now that you have the karmic fire of the Red Lotus, I hope that you will cherish it. Don't disappoint me, little craftsman god. After she finished speaking, Hong Lian slowly fell onto Jiang Chen's body. A brief moment later, when Jiang Chen woke up, he was slightly startled when he saw the naked Hong Lian in front of him. However, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus that coexisted with the 5 elemental true fire in his dantian had already told him everything. Jiang Chen raised his head and covered Red Lotus with a layer of clothes. In the next moment, her body underwent a tremendous change, turning into a dazzling fiery red golden lotus, vivid and lifelike. Jiang Chen held the golden fire lotus in his hand. His heart was filled with gratitude. If it was not for Hong Lian, he did not know when he would be able to regain his life. The kindness that Hong Lian had shown him was akin to giving him a new lease on life. You actually gave me half of your true fire essence. Won't you regret it when you wake up in the future? After losing half of your true fire essence, you will never have the chance to reach the peak again. Jiang Chen quietly said. The true fire essence was the source of Hong Lian's life. In order to save him, she had fused with him and even used her true fire essence to help him. His life had already been completely intertwined with hers and could never be separated again. If Hong Lian was destroyed, he would be fine, but if he was destroyed, Hong Lian would also cease to exist. You've given your life to me. Hong Lian, I will never let you be silent in this lifetime, Jiang Chen firmly said. Although he did not know how long it would take for Hong Lian to wake up, or even 10,000 years, Jiang Chen would never give up hope. Once he stepped into the martial emperor realm, he would definitely find a way to help her recover her true fire essence. The two blazing flames in Jiang Chen's body made him even more solemn. The true fire essence of the Red Lotus karmic fire essence had completely fused with him. Otherwise, he would not have been able to withstand the cold river stone's backlash. Jiang Chen clenched his fists, the 5 elemental true fire in his left hand and the karmic fire of the Red Lotus on his right. At that moment, he could feel the energy in his body rising continuously. The karmic fire of the Red Lotus might not increase his strength by much, but it was released when the opponent was unprepared. Even a peak divine king would be scared out of his wits. A slight mistake and he would be burned to ashes by the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Jiang Chen, you're finally awake. Chapter 29:11. The Fire Qilin's face was filled with joy. If not for the Red Lotus, I'm afraid I'll never be able to recover. How long have I been unconscious? Jiang Chen asked. 3 years. The Fire Qilin answered. It's been that long? It's time for me to go to Tongxian Mansion. Jiang Chen murmured. He turned his head and looked at the fire mastiff not far away. The fire mastiff wasn't dead yet. It was still breathing, but it was suppressed by the cold river stone. However, it was on the verge of death. The primordial true fire passed down by the fire god Zhurong clan? This time, it should be mine. The corners of Jiang Chen's mouth curled into a meaningful smile. This fire mastiff is a treasure. It's more than enough to refine a primordial spirit tool. The Fire Qilin's eyes flickered. Then I'll take its primordial true fire to commemorate the Red Lotus. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. He reached out his hand and the primordial true fire in the fire mastiff's body instantly struggled. Although it was on its last breath, the primordial true fire was still able to defend itself. Unfortunately, the karmic fire of the Red Lotus in Jiang Chen's body was much stronger than the primordial true fire in the fire mastiff's body. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. The fire mastiff's struggling will reverberated in the air. However, Jiang Chen did not hesitate and used the karmic fire of the Red Lotus to extract the primordial true fire. The primordial true fire of the fire mastiff's primordial true fire was comparable to the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Although it was weak, the primordial true fire was still burning fiercely. It's impossible not to die. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have done it. Jiang Chen said calmly. Even though the 5 elemental true fire is still growing, it is still no match for a divine fire like the Red Lotus karmic fire. Today, I will use the fire god Zhurong clan's origin true fire to fuse with my 5 elemental true fire. Jiang Chen, you'd better think this through. The fire mastiff beast's essence flame is extremely powerful. Even though you've already extracted the fire mastiff beast's essence flame, its arrogance is still there. It's no weaker than the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. You'd better think twice before you act. The Fire Qilin reminded. I can even subdue the fire mastiff beast. Why would I be afraid of a mere primordial fire essence? Jiang Chen sneered as he stared at the fire mastiff's origin fire in his hand. In the next moment, he entered the Zulong Tower without hesitation and began to refine it. The fire mastiff beast's primordial fire essence was extremely powerful. The fusion of the 5 elemental true fire with it was imminent. As long as it could be fused, the 5 elemental true fire would definitely reach a higher level. At that time, It might even be comparable to the Red Lotus karmic fire. The true dragon flame, the true thunder fire, the Qilin sacred flame, the vermilion bird divine flame, and the sun flame all fused together with the true flame of the fire mastiff. The fire mastiff beast's essence fire was clearly superior, but under the pressure of the Red Lotus karmic fire, the fire mastiff beast's essence fire was unable to cause any trouble. Under the fusion of the true dragon fire, it became the true dragon divine fire. Under the fusion of the true lightning fire, it became the divine lightning fire. Under the fusion of the Qilin sacred fire, it became the Qilin divine fire. Under the fusion of the sun fire, it became the sun divine fire. Under the fusion of the vermilion bird divine fire, it became the vermilion bird heavenly fire. It was even more superior. Jiang Chen used the Red Lotus karmic fire to suppress the fire mastiff beast's essence fire, and the fusion was completed in an unstoppable manner. After the fusion, even Jiang Chen did not expect the 5 elemental true fire to be so terrifying. After the fusion, every flame of the 5 elemental true fire was more than 100 times stronger than the 5 elemental true fire. Even the Red Lotus karmic fire was not inferior to the 5 elemental true fire. After the fusion of the fire essence fire, the dragon marks in Jiang Chen's body underwent a monstrous change once again. As he circulated the dragon transformation skill, the dragon marks underwent a shocking change, and the number of dragon marks increased by tens of thousands. Am I finally going to break through? Jiang Chen held his breath and concentrated. The dragon transformation skill circulated wildly, and the 5 elemental true fire spread out to protect his body. The surrounding ice mountains of the 9 Pinnacles Mountain also began to melt slowly. The dragon marks grew densely in his limbs and bones. The dragon transformation skill evolved once again, and the number of dragon marks reached 4,500,000. He was on the verge of breaking through, and the mid-divine king realm was reached in an instant. The lightning dispersed, and Jiang Chen clenched his hand. The power of a mid-divine king made him feel unprecedentedly powerful. This was a true mid-divine king. Jiang Chen was confident that a late divine king expert would be shocked by the power of his punch. You've become stronger again. The fire Qilin congratulated him. This is the fire mastiff beast's essence fire. I hope it'll be useful to you. Jiang Chen moved his fingers gently, and the fire Qilin's essence fire danced in his hand. The fire Qilin said in shock, "Are you saying that you're giving me a strand of the fire essence fire?" The fire Qilin did not dare to hope for it. The importance of the fire mastiff beast was obvious. Hong Lian had lost half of the fire mastiff beast's essence fire, and no one knew when he would be able to wake up again. Moreover, he would never be able to reach the peak again. Yet, Jiang Chen actually wanted to give him the fire mastiff beast's essence fire. The fire Qilin was filled with gratitude and excitement. We are brothers who never leave each other's side. Only when you're strong enough can we fight against the enemy together. Jiang Chen smiled. All right. The fire Qilin nodded heavily. His fire mastiff beast's essence fire and the fire mastiff beast's essence fire would definitely collide, and his strength would increase by leaps and bounds. In the Zulong Tower, the fire Qilin focused on fusing with the fire mastiff beast's essence fire. It took him 3 whole months to completely fuse with the fire mastiff beast's essence fire, and his strength had actually reached the peak of the late divine king realm. It had completely exceeded Jiang Chen's imagination. It's really unexpected. Jiang Chen was also shocked. He had witnessed the fire Qilin's transformation. The fire mastiff beast's essence fire and the fire Qilin's essence fire were extremely similar. Moreover, they were both ancient divine beasts. Once the 2 fire mastiff beasts collided, it would be like a powerful combination of stars. Peak divine king realm. I didn't expect it either. The fire Qilin was extremely excited and extremely grateful to Jiang Chen. His great transformation was closely related to Jiang Chen. I'm afraid you'll reach the hierarch realm earlier than me. Jiang Chen praised from the bottom of his heart. So what? With your strength, even the hierarch fire mastiff beast can't do anything to you. Ha! The fire Qilin said with a laugh. The fire mastiff beast has destroyed the lower half of my 12 fire god guards. Now, I'll use its body to refine my fire god guards again. Jiang Chen said with a sneer. He took out the myriad chi cauldron and threw the fire mastiff beast's body into it. After refining it for 49 days, the fire mastiff beast's body became only 3 feet long. However, it was still the size of a farm dog. It turned into a piece of fiery red metal. The impurities that were removed were also as firm as a rock. Jiang Chen used the impurities to refine the 12 fire god guards again. However, even the impurities from the fire mastiff beast's body had improved the quality of the 12 fire god guards. Although they could only reach the mid-divine king realm, they were much more powerful than before. The fire mastiff beast's body is really not simple. The fire Qilin was shocked. Under the refinement of Jiang Chen's karmic fire of the red lotus and the divine fire of 5 elements, the fire mastiff beast's body was cleansed and the impurities were removed. Finally, it became a metal that could be used to refine divine weapons. It's a little extravagant to refine origin divine weapons. The fire mastiff beast's body is like a treasure. Jiang Chen had a feeling that the fire mastiff beast's body could even challenge a peak origin divine weapon or even a primordial treasure weapon. However, he did not have the ability to do so. Chapter 29:12. The fire Qilin's eyes moved, looking at the fiery red boulder not far away. It was triangular in shape. The fiery red boulder had a smooth surface. A mouthful of fire was not enough to melt the boulder at all. The fire Qilin and Jiang Chen looked at each other. Both of them became extremely excited. What is this boulder? Jiang Chen frowned. But the terror of this boulder was probably the same as the body of the fire mastiff that he had refined for 49 days. I got it. The fire Qilin's eyes flashed. If I'm not wrong, this should be a fire silk crystal. The fire Qilin's eyes made Jiang Chen doubt it. What's a fire silk crystal? Jiang Chen asked. To put it bluntly, it's the shit of the fire mastiff. Motherfucker. Jiang Chen scolded jokingly. Was this guy making fun of him? Don't look down on the shit of the fire mastiff. What it excretes is all essence. It only eats the most precious metals or heavenly treasures. Even if it excretes, it's still the most precious. It's through continuous fusion in its body. That's why it's such a big pile. The fire Qilin said seriously. Ha ha ha, it's still a pile of shit. Jiang Chen laughed and said, you have to think of it this way. This pile of shit can be refined into an origin divine tool. If you don't want it, I don't know how many people will fight for it outside. Don't say divine emperor experts. Even emperor experts will be tempted by it. Moreover, this thing is the same as the thunderbolt agarwood. It can be refined into pills. But to fuse with it, it's extremely difficult. To be able to obtain it, it's the only one in history. You have to know that in the entire ancient times, the number of fire mastiff did not exceed 3. The fire Qilin's solemn expression made Jiang Chen finally realize the importance of this fire silk crystal. Although it was a little funny, it was true. The fire mastiff could even eat an origin divine tool in one bite. Even if it's excrement, it's still an absolute treasure. I can forge weapons, but forget about concocting pills. Jiang Chen curled his lips and shook his head with a smile. One day you'll know how precious it is. If it's in my inherited memories, it's definitely not an ordinary item. Anyway, it's better to put it away first. The fire Qilin said. You're right. I definitely won't let go of such a good thing. Keeping the fire silk crystal, Jiang Chen and fire Qilin looked at each other. They had to leave now. In 3 years, Tongxian Mansion must be opening soon, or maybe it had already opened. He had been unconscious for 3 years, and he had no idea what had happened in Stellar Sky Domain. Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect. I hope you won't be swallowed by Blood Tool Sect so easily. Ling Yun, I, Jiang Chen, am back. Look, the 9 Pinnacles Snow Mountain has melted. Moreover, it was accompanied by sudden changes in the heavenly thunder. It's been 3 years. How did it suddenly become like this? Who knows? Now that our Blood Tool Sect is determined to win, the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect is going to be destroyed soon. We have to inform the elders about this as soon as possible. The melting of the 9 Pinnacles Snow Mountain is no small matter. Senior brother is right. Ever since the 9 Pinnacles Mountain turned into this from a volcano 3 years ago, it hasn't appeared for millions of years. Now that the ice on the 9 Pinnacles Mountain has melted, something must have happened. A few disciples of Blood Tool Sect said with a serious expression and quickly went into the sect to report to the elders. The entire 9 Pinnacles Mountain had shattered into pieces, and the flames were soaring into the sky. Although it wasn't as terrifying as before, the flames still made the 9 Pinnacles Mountain extremely hot. Friends, please wait a moment. Jiang Chen smiled and looked at the disciples who were in a hurry. Who are you? He, Isn't he Jiang Chen? Jiang Chen is not dead. That devil in human form, he's not dead? Could he have been in the Nine Pinnacles Mountain for the past 3 years? The few of them were dumbfounded. They were only true gods while Jiang Chen was a divine king expert. Killing them was as easy as flipping his palm. 3 years ago, when Jiang Chen fell into the Nine Pinnacles Mountain, the entire Blood Tool sect was extremely excited. But now they felt the threat of death. Chu Fengji. Where are Chu Yunji? Jiang Chen smiled. Sect Lord and Senior Brother Yunji are in the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. One of the Blood Tool sect's disciples said with a pale face, trembling in fear. It's been 3 years, the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect is still here. My sacrifice was not in vain. The smile on Jiang Chen's face turned mellow and mellow. The 10 great sects joined hands to attack the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect? Yes. But the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect has a strong foundation. They managed to hold on for 3 years. Another disciple said with a pale face. Facing Jiang Chen's question, he dared not say a word. To them, death was just a matter of moving a finger from Jiang Chen. Indeed, one of the 10 great sections. Looks like the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect won't be destroyed so easily. Jiang Chen nodded silently. But I'm afraid the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect won't be so lucky this time. The 10 great sects sent out 40 divine king experts to destroy the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. Another Blood Tool sect disciple said in a low voice. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. Tell the people of the Blood Tool sect to leave the sect within 10 breaths. Otherwise, I, Jiang Chen, will burn the Blood Tool sect. Jiang Chen turned around, leaving the disciples of the Blood Tool sect in 10 breaths. I, Jiang Chen, will burn the Blood Tool sect within 10 breaths. Run if you want to live. Jiang Chen's voice reverberated around the Nine Pinnacles Mountain. The remaining 30,000 disciples of the Blood Tool sect were all anxious. 3 divine king experts stood in the sky and looked at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, I can't believe you're still alive. Do you really think you're some peerless expert who wants to burn the Blood Tool sect? You'll definitely die if you go against the Blood Tool sect. The black-clothed elder shouted. Shut up. I've said that I'll give you 10 breaths. After 10 breaths, I, Jiang Chen, will not show mercy. Facing death, Jiang Chen had long since become indifferent to it. His heart was as calm as still water. Kindness was the epitaph of a kind person. 10 breaths of time was his greatest mercy. Let's go. This fellow is powerful. Let's take him down first. The black-clothed elder shouted in a deep voice. The 3 divine king experts immediately took action and rushed towards Jiang Chen. A mantis trying to stop a chariot. Jiang Chen's expression was as calm as a mountain. With a wave of his palm, the 3 divine king realm experts were burnt to ashes. All the disciples of the Blood Tool sect were shocked. The 3 divine kings were no match for Jiang Chen. The entire Blood Tool sect was in chaos. From now on, the Blood Tool sect will no longer exist in the Tianxing boundary. Chapter 29:13. Tianluo Yin's Sealing Formation. Gather. Along with Chu Fengji's shout, 20 mid-divine kings and 8 early divine kings joined hands and launched an attack towards Ling Yanyu. The entire Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect was in great danger. Half of the 100,000 disciples were killed. The Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect turned into a sea of fire. Countless disciples were killed. Blood flowed everywhere. It was a terrible scene. It's not that easy to kill me, Ling Yanyu. Ling Yanyu roared furiously. He held the heavenly halberd in his hand and soared into the clouds. The dual lightning swordsman wreaked havoc. However, the formation of 28 divine kings still made Ling Yanyu suffer from attacks from all directions. At this moment, he was completely restrained. The formation formed by 30 divine kings was not to be underestimated. It was not a matter of 1 + 1 = 2. The might of nearly 30 divine kings was not to be underestimated. Even a peak divine king like Ling Yanyu did not dare to face it head-on. Let's see how long you can last. It's been 3 years. It's time for you guys to wake up. There's only death waiting for you guys to go against my Blood Tool sect. Humph, Chu Yunji said with a cold smile. Joining forces, they began to attack Ling Yanyu. Under the heavenly Sieve Yin sealing formation, Ling Yanyu's every move was filled with danger. He had been fighting for years, and had been injured for a long time. This time, His injuries were even worse. 3 years, 7 battles. He was the one who repelled them every single time, protecting the last shred of dignity of the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. But this time, they've clearly made up their minds. They sent 30 divine kings to kill him and another 10 divine kings to suppress the other divine kings of his sect. Even Ling Yun, Yang Lu, and the 10 elders were in a disadvantageous position. They couldn't turn the situation around at all. Every time Ling Yanyu forced them to retreat, he had to use all of his sect's strength. Furthermore, the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's disciples were reduced by half, and more than half of them were either dead or injured. No one would be able to bear such a loss. Ling Yanyu brandished his truncheons as lightning and fire surged. He fought against 100 by himself. His powerful means caused the faces of Chu Yunji and the other experts to slightly change. A skinny camel was still bigger than a horse, not to mention that Ling Yanyu was not at the end of his rope yet. The might of a peak divine king was completely unleashed. Even the Skynet ceiling in formation could not completely suppress him. However, Ling Yanyu did not have the slightest chance to catch his breath under the joint attack of nearly 30 people. Furthermore, with the support of the formation, Ling Yanyu could only move with difficulty. Blazing dual dragon truncheons. Ling Yanyu struck out with his dual truncheons. A fire dragon soared into the sky, roaring in the void and wreaking havoc in the sky. However, it was still withstood by the Skynet ceiling in array, completely nullifying his attack. Ling Yanyu's situation became more and more difficult under the encirclement of the 30 people. However, no one could injure him. After all, if they wanted to injure Ling Yanyu, they would also have to suffer a great injury. If I don't take action, Sect Lord Ling will start killing again. A faint laughter reverberated above the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. A blood-clothed figure appeared, stepping on a cloud calmly. Half-step Marshal Venerable. Ling Yanyu said word by word. His expression completely changed. No wonder you dared to make my earthly fire heavenly lightning sect disappear from the heavenly star domain. You have something to rely on. I thought you're dead. I didn't expect you to have broken through to the half-step hierarch realm. Ling Yanyu said while gritting his teeth. Isn't that the previous sect lord of the Blood Tool sect? The previous sect lord died due to cultivation deviation. The previous sect lord was more than 100,000 years old. I didn't expect Chu Tianzhou to still be alive. Yeah, no wonder they have such a strong backing. They have a half-step hierarch like Chu Tianzhou. The Blood Tool sect's old ancestor is a half-step hierarch. Looks like they'll definitely become one of the top 10 sections. If we can eliminate the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect this time, the Blood Tool sect will definitely replace them. A half-step hierarch expert is terrifying. Even the divine puppet sect might not be able to eliminate them easily. The elders of the 9 sects were shocked. The appearance of the Blood Tool sect's old ancestor, Chu Tianzhou, had boosted their confidence. However, the rise of the Blood Tool sect was unstoppable. Welcome, old ancestor. Chu Yunji and Chu Fengji greeted him. Ling Yanyu, if you surrender now, I might spare your life. Submit to my Blood Tool sect and the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect will be erased. This is your only chance to live. Chu Tianzhou said straightforwardly. He only had one goal, to destroy the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. I'd rather die than be humiliated. Chu Tianzhou, if you're really capable, you can do whatever you want to my earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. I will not surrender even if I have to die. Ling Yanyu shouted. Looks like the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's sect Lord Ling is as tough as ever. This time, I'd like to see who can compete with me. Chu Tianzhou said faintly. His eyes flashed with killing intent. Old ancestor will definitely kill Ling Yanyu. Chu Yunji said with a low voice. Back in the day, you defeated me once as well. I wanted to let bygones be bygones and take you in, but you're too stubborn. Don't blame me then. Sect Lord Ling, today is the day we end our battle. Chu Tianzhou's face was cold, but he said in a benevolent tone. I'm really surprised that you're able to break through to the hierarch realm. Even if I know I'm going to lose today, I will not give up the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. I, Ling Yanyu, will not become a slave of a fallen sect even if I die. Ling Yanyu felt sad. He knew he could not win against Chu Tianzhou. Although there was only a slight difference between a half-step hierarch and a peak divine king, the difference was irreversible. The venerable realm was the dream of countless people. Becoming a venerable realm, even if it was a half-step hierarch realm, was an existence that countless people could only look up to. The difference between an immortal and a mortal was enough to prove everything. Everyone, stand down, Chu Fengji said. At this moment, Chu Tianzhou took a step forward and swept across the void. Ling Yanyu rushed up to the clouds and the two started fighting. Needless to say, Ling Yanyu's strength was clear for all to see. The might of a peak divine monarch should not be underestimated. Chu Tianzhou unleashed a series of powerful attacks. Golden silhouettes streaked across the void. Chu Tianzhou let out a faint smile and stepped on the void like the wind. With a swing of his palm, he forcefully pushed Ling Yanyu back. So powerful, Ling Yanyu thought. His face slightly changed. He was defeated by Chu Tianzhou in the past, but now he had broken through to the half-step hierarch realm. The difference between them was obvious. The current you is not worth mentioning in my eyes. Chapter 29:14. Blood Cloud Palm. With a flip of his hand, Chu Tianzhou's palm stirred like thunder, and it transformed into layer upon layer of folded hands that smashed down, causing dense blood energy to ripple and suffuse the sky. Ling Yanyu's expression changed drastically. He quickly retreated and attacked with both of his truncheons, but he still couldn't defend against the blood-colored palm. He was heavily injured and was sent flying, blood splattering all over the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. Master! Ling Yun's expression changed as she retreated. The two divine kings also managed to push her back. Ling Yun was also in a bad situation. Yanyu! Yang Li's expression changed drastically. She flew towards Ling Yanyu, but she was pushed back by Ling Yanyu. If she were to take action, she would die a worse death than him. Uft! Ling Yanyu spurted out blood as he tried to stabilize himself. However, he was already heavily injured. He was defeated by a half-step hierarch in just one move. Arrogant fella, this is your calamity. Since you insist, then the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect can only be destroyed by my palm. Chu Tianzhou's palm landed on the blood cloud palm. The entire earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's expression changed. Ling Yanyu might not be able to survive this attack. Earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. How dare you? A deep roar echoed in the sky above the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. A blue figure shrouded the sky and even Chu Tianzhou's expression changed slightly. He yelled, "You're the heavenly lightning sect? Who is it? How dare you ask me who I am after coming to my earthly fire heavenly lightning sect? Get lost." The blue-clothed figure let out a low shout, and Chu Tianzhou was actually forced to take several steps back. His expression incomparably grave. Another half-step hierarch. The earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's old ancestor. Looks like the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's old ancestor. Countless people raised their heads in anticipation. Ling Yanyu also stared at the void with shock and guilt in his eyes. He said in a low voice, "Ling Yanyu has failed the old ancestor. It's not your fault." The blue figure shook his head. "Senior, Ling Su," Chu Tianzhou said in a deep voice. Although he had reached the half-step hierarch realm, Ling Su was much stronger than him. Chu Tianzhou had heard of Ling Su when he was young, but Ling Su had already lived in seclusion. Tens of thousands of years had passed. Some said that Ling Kuang had passed away while others said that Ling Su had gone to travel the world. However, his appearance had shocked the disciples of the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. The old ancestor of the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect would not give up on them. "You want to flatten my earthly fire heavenly lightning sect? How arrogant!" Ling Ran said calmly. "Pass my test and the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect will be yours. It seems like we will have to fight, Senior Ling Su. I, Chu Tianzhou, will flatten the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect today. No one can stop me," Chu Tianzhou said in a deep voice. "It might be difficult for me to kill you, but defeating you is a piece of cake. Don't you think too highly of yourself?" Ling Ran also smiled and shook his head inwardly. "Indeed, it's impossible for me to defeat you by myself. However, if you want to fight one against two, you might not be able to win for sure. Brother Zhu, sorry to keep you waiting." Chu Tianzhou looked towards the northwest direction as he spoke with a low voice. In the blink of an eye, an azure-clothed figure arrived on a flying sword, and he stood on the blade of the sword with his hands behind his back. His long hair fluttered in the wind, and his white hair was cold and arrogant, yet he was calm and composed. Zhu Zhenfeng from the North Shadow Sect. Even he's here. Looks like the Blood Tool Sect is going all out this time. It's not easy to invite the old ancestor of the North Shadow Sect. Yeah. Although the North Shadow Sect is one of the weakest sects among the 10 great sects, they have the Zhun sect's old ancestor. This time, even if the old ancestor of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect is here, he might not be able to defeat us. Our old ancestor of the North Shadow Sect and the old ancestor of the Blood Tool Sect, Chu Tianzhou, will surely stand out from the crowd. The entire Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect was bustling with noise. However, it was not an optimistic situation for the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect and Ling Yanyu. 2 half-step venerables against the old ancestor. Even with the old ancestor's foundation, he might not be able to gain any advantage. Brother Lingran, how have you been? Ha ha ha, it's been 130,000 years. Time is truly unforgiving. The green-clothed old man, Zhu Zhenfeng, said with a laugh. His gaze was sharp as he stared at Ling Kuang fearlessly. Looks like your preparations are truly foolproof. Ling Li's expression also became extremely solemn. He did not place Chu Tianzhou in his eyes, but if Zhu Zhenfeng, who was from the same generation as him, were added to the mix, he would definitely be at a great disadvantage in this battle. No matter how deep his foundation was, his chances of winning against 2 great half-step venerables would be extremely slim. Ling Yanyu's expression was extremely ugly. Does the heavens want my Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect to perish? Ling Yanyu murmured. At this moment, he swore to protect the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect with his life. Looks like the Blood Tool Sect must have paid a great price to invite Brother Zhu. Looks like today's battle is unavoidable. Ling Ran shook his head and sighed. Brother Ling Kuang, we're not being overbearing. As long as the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect surrenders, we'll naturally retreat. However, if you continue to resist stubbornly, then this battle is unavoidable. Zhu Zhenfeng said with a smile. 100,000 years ago, have you ever heard of Ling Ran? Who was he afraid of? Ling Ran's words caused Zhu Zhenfeng to hold his breath. Back then, Ling Ran was the overlord of the Heavenly Star Realm. That was also the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect's most glorious time. None of the 10 great sects could compete against him. I don't dare to challenge Brother Ling Kuang's position alone, but with Brother Zhu's help, I have nothing to worry about. Since it has come to this, Senior Ling Ran, we can only fight with our strength. Chu Tianzhou and Zhu Zhenfeng looked at each other. The 2 half-step Hierarch Realm experts were finally going to attack together. The battle between the 3 half-step Hierarch Realm experts resounded in the void, causing everyone to bow down. Humph. Let's see how you're going to fight us now. Chu Yunji snorted coldly and looked at Ling Yanyu with a faint smile. Ling Yanyu had been heavily injured by Chu Tianzhou, so his strength had been greatly reduced. If he were to fight against over 30 God Kings, he would definitely not be able to compete at all. Let's kill you while you're down. What are you waiting for? Chu Fengji bellowed. He held his saber horizontally and rushed to the front. The 28 Divine King Realm experts formed a formation again and surrounded Ling Yan. Ha ha ha, why should I be afraid? From the moment I became the sect master of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect, I have already disregarded life and death. So what if I die today? Ling Yanyu was not afraid. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. There were more than 100 injuries on his body. Ling Yun and Yang Lu could not help but cry. Master, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. Ling Yun blamed herself. Her eyes were filled with tears. If she had married into the Blood Tool Sect, none of this would have happened. It's not your fault. Even without you, the Blood Tool Sect would still be above us. They wanted to rise, so they needed to show their might. It's just that we became their target. Yang Lu bit her lips and silently watched this scene. She was already prepared to face death with equanimity. If Ling Yanyu died in battle, she would not live alone either. Chapter 29:15. The Battle of 100,000 Disciples was quite intense. The Blood Tool Sect had sent out 50% of their disciples and the elites from the 10 great sects. The Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect was defeated in every aspect. Whether it was the battle of the sect master, old ancestor, or the battle of the low-level disciples, they were completely suppressed. No matter how strong the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect was, How could they compete with the 10 great sects? Ling Yanyu had fallen into a passive position and suffered a lot of injuries. However, he was like an undying war horse, charging forward with his head held high. Even if he was injured, he would not hesitate to die. His spirit was empathized by the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's disciples. The battle between the 3 half-step hierarch realm experts had become the focus of the audience. After all, not everyone had the chance to witness a battle of life and death between half-step hierarch realm experts. Some of them might not even have the chance to witness such a battle in their lifetime. How could they miss such an intense battle? Although Ling Chen had a strong foundation, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. The gap between half-step hierarch realm experts was not that big. It was too difficult for Ling Chen to fight against 2 people alone. The 3 of them fought back and forth. Ling Chen was constantly being suppressed. Although he was not as badly injured as Ling Yanyu, it would not take long for him to be defeated. It was already difficult for him to move forward. It was almost impossible for him to counterattack. Ling Chen was in a passive position from the beginning. The 2 half-step hierarch realm experts had an overwhelming advantage, causing Ling Chen to feel the oppression and anger that he had not felt for more than 100,000 years. Despicable! Ling Kuang roared in anger. However, Chu Tianzhou and Zhu Zhenfeng did not care and continued to attack. As long as Ling Chen fell and Ling Yanyu died, the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect would no longer exist. Even if the remaining disciples were elites, what use would they be? Ling Yanyu die. From now on, the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect will disappear from the stellar sky domain forever. Chu Yunji took advantage of the situation to attack Ling Yanyu. Ling Yanyu was already at the end of his tether. He did not have the slightest ability to retaliate. The final pressure had also exhausted his divine yuan power. He was going to be defeated in the end. Chu Yunji's long blade went straight towards Ling Yanyu. At that moment, Ling Yun's pupils contracted. She rushed forward, wanting to block this blade for Ling Yanyu. But at this moment, Ling Yun suddenly felt that her waist was being hugged by someone. She turned her head in anger and saw Jiang Chen's smiling eyes. Isn't it good to be alive? If you die, who will cheer for me? Jiang Chenyu. Ling Yun looked at this scene in disbelief. Am I dreaming? Ling Yun couldn't believe that Jiang Chen was still alive. I won't die so easily. If I'm here, the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect won't perish. Jiang Chen said calmly. I believe you. Ling Yun murmured. As long as he was around, the world seemed to have become peaceful as usual. Jiang Chen? What? He's still alive? Wasn't he devoured by the 9 Pinnacles Mountain's fire god? A centipede dies but never falls down. He's still alive. He seems to have become stronger. Everyone looked at Jiang Chen. Chu Yunji's fatal attack was blocked by Jiang Chen. Ling Yanyu looked at Jiang Chen with a shocked expression. He smiled bitterly, but a glimmer of hope rose in his heart. Jiang Chen is still alive. Ling Yanyu said softly. But what could he do? Jiang Chen was only a mid-divine king. How could he fight against the 10 great sects of the stellar sky domain with his strength? Almost 30 divine kings joined hands and formed a powerful formation. Even a peak divine king like him could not compete with them. You're really tough. You can't even kill the 9 Pinnacles Mountain's fire god. Chu Yunji stared at Jiang Chen with a gloomy expression. Now that Jiang Chen's strength had made a great breakthrough, he was bound to be stronger than before. However, he was only one person after all. It was impossible for him to turn the situation around. There were supreme experts of the 10 major sects here. No one could save the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. The 10 major sects were all targeting the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. To Ling Yanyu, this battle was a hopeless situation. You'll be the one to die first. Jiang Chen smiled. You guys are all alone now. Even the blood tool sect is gone. Let's see how long you guys can last. What did you say? Chu Fengji's expression changed. He stared at Jiang Chen with a gloomy expression. There's no more blood tool sect in the stellar sky domain. It's been destroyed by me. Jiang Chen said faintly. Chu Fengji did not believe him. He could not believe that Jiang Chen was so powerful. The blood tool sect had existed for hundreds of thousands of years. How could it be destroyed by Jiang Chen so easily? That's bullshit. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. But I, Jiang Chen, always keep my words. It's time for us to settle this score. I almost lost my life in the Nine Pinnacles Mountain. Today, everyone has to pay the price. Jiang Chen glanced at Chu Yunji, Chu Fengji and the others. He was only a mid-divine king, but he was not afraid in front of so many experts. It's a miracle that you didn't die in the Nine Pinnacles Mountain. But now that you've come to us, don't blame us. Chu Yunji said with a sneer. Although he might not be a match for Jiang Chen, their team was too strong. How could a mere Jiang Chen do anything to them? Chu Yunji sneered. Damn it. The entire Nine Pinnacles Mountain is gone. Chu Fengji said dispiritedly. He looked at Jiang Chen with a pale face. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Jiang Chen, the Blood Tool sect and you are irreconcilable. I, Chu Fengji, will turn you into ashes today. Chu Fengji's words made everyone's expression change, especially the people of the Blood Tool sect. Even Chu Fengji confirmed it. It meant that Jiang Chen's words were very reliable. Even Ling Yanyu took a deep breath. Jiang Chen's method was truly formidable. Although it was an empty Blood Tool sect, who would have thought that Jiang Chen would be able to burn it down? Chu Fengji was in a panic and hated Jiang Chen to the bone. Ling Yanyu took a deep breath. Ling Yanyu took a deep breath. I said it earlier, but you guys didn't believe me. Today, I, Jiang Chen, am willing to go through fire and water for the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. Sect leader Ling, let me fight on your behalf. Jiang Chen waved his hand. His aura was like a rainbow. Countless disciples of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect were excited. Jiang Chen's appearance was like a savior. Although they couldn't tell if Jiang Chen had a chance of winning, they only needed someone who could shoulder this burden. Jiang Chen was not going to pass on this responsibility. Jiang Chen, you, Ling Yanyu could not believe that Jiang Chen would disregard his own life and death to fight for his Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. Even if it was for Ling Yun, Ling Yanyu was filled with gratitude. Jiang Chen could see that Ling Yanyu was already at the end of his rope. Don't worry, sect leader Ling. I will let them know that the Blood Tool sect is weak. Jiang Chen said proudly. Ignorant brat. Do you really think that you're a peerless sovereign? You've destroyed my Blood Tool sect. Today shall be the day of your death. Everyone, let's kill this bastard together. Chu Fengji took the lead and sent over 30 Divine King Realm experts to attack Jiang Chen. Watch out. Chapter 29:16. Formation. Chu Yunji shouted in anger. The foundation of the Blood Tool sect was destroyed by Jiang Chen. As a disciple of the Blood Tool sect, they hated him to the core. They must kill him in an instant. Oh, you think you can take out a formation of this level? Jiang Chen said with a sneer. The Heavenly Luo Yin Ceiling formation was just a piece of cake for him. Watch me break the formation with one hand. Jiang Chen sneered and flew up to the sky. He could see the eye of the formation at first glance. It would only take him a moment to break the formation. The Heavenly Ceiling Yin formation looked strong and indestructible, but Jiang Chen just laughed it off. With a light touch of his finger, the formation collapsed on its own. Chu Yunji and the others were dumbfounded. Jiang Chen turned his hand and struck out a palm with an imposing aura. The 30 Divine King Realm experts were dumbfounded. The Heavenly Ceiling Yin formation was broken just like that? The entire Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect was in an uproar. Jiang Chen's attack shocked the world, breaking the formation with a single hand. Even the 3 half-step hierarch who were focused on the battle were shocked. This mid-Divine King realm was not ordinary. Even Ling Yanyu's face was filled with astonishment. The Heavenly Ceiling Yin formation that almost killed him was so weak in Jiang Chen's hands? Breaking it with one hand? Isn't that too hurtful? This fellow is so strong? Chu Fengji gasped. He wanted to cry but had no tears, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. The Skynet Yin ceiling formation that even peak Divine Kings trembled in fear was actually like a layer of window paper in his eyes, shattering with a poke. This was also too hurtful to his pride, right? You guys are too weak. Jiang Chen's arrogant words once again provoked Chu Fengji and the Divine King realm experts of the 10 major sects. 30 profound mastery experts were highly respected in the Heavenly Star boundary. Although they were not as high and mighty as the 10 major sects, they were still respected and respected. But they were so weak in front of this kid. Who could bear such mockery? If he was allowed to continue being so arrogant, the 10 great sects would have no face left. Don't celebrate too early. Do you think you can defeat us just because you broke our formation? Dream on. I'd like to see how you're going to fight us alone. That's right. Everyone, don't panic. This fellow has only figured out our formation. Even if he can break it, it doesn't mean that he can block our combined attack. You're right. Kill this monster and the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect will collapse by itself. Let's see what else they can rely on then. Over 30 god kings launched their attacks once again. This time, Jiang Chen was even more composed. He smiled and said indifferently, "Don't worry. It's time to witness the strength of a mid-divine king." Jiang Chen's aura was calm and steady. Mid-divine king realm. Just the strength of his physique was enough to give a late divine king a headache. More than 30 divine king realm experts did not slack off at all. They fought with all their might, wanting to kill Jiang Chen. After all, Jiang Chen's arrogance had angered them. He looked down on everyone. Isn't this guy too arrogant? If we don't teach him a lesson, he'll really think that he's invincible. Jiang Chen held his blade in front of him and threw a punch with one hand, fighting against the divine king experts. No one had expected Jiang Chen's speed to be so fast, so ferocious, and so unyielding. Jiang Chen took a step forward and threw out 3 punches, sending 3 divine kings flying. No matter if they were mid-divine kings or early divine kings, none of them could withstand a single blow from Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's punches and palms were extremely ferocious, as if he was invincible. More than 30 divine king realm experts were like children in Jiang Chen's eyes. He was at ease, advancing and retreating calmly. Each of his punches was shocking. As he advanced and retreated, 13 palm winds were thrown out, causing the 13 divine kings to retreat in embarrassment. Jiang Chen took the opportunity to chase after them. He was not afraid at all, causing Ling Yanyu, Ling Yun and the others to be dumbfounded. Who would have thought that Jiang Chen, a mid-divine king, would be like a wolf in a flock of sheep? That terrifying pressure caused the divine king's expression to change drastically. Jiang Chen's charge was invincible. The 9 dragons and 10 elephants once again displayed their divine mightiness. Jiang Chen was able to fight against the divine kings with just the strength of his flesh and blood, gaining the upper hand. The more the divine king experts fought, the more frightened they became. They did not expect Jiang Chen to be like a mad bull that was not afraid of death, rushing into their camp. That kind of fearless charge made them shiver. Jiang Chen did not hold back anymore. Each of his attacks was fatal. More than 30 divine king experts were pushed back by Jiang Chen at this moment. Each of them was heavily injured and their facial expression changed drastically. They ran away in all directions, looking at Jiang Chen in fear. Jiang Chen's fist was filled with explosive power. It was a simple punch, but it made them feel despair between life and death. This was Jiang Chen's power. It was so powerful that it made people's hair stand on end. It was so powerful that it made people suffocate. Too powerful. The spines of the divine puppet cult's divine king were shattered by Jiang Chen. He said with a pale face. Even his lips were dry. None of them had thought that they would be defeated by a mid-divine king. It was a humiliation. However, they all knew how terrifying Jiang Chen was. His power was to fight violence with violence. He did not give them any chance at all. Over 30 god kings were as pale as a piece of white paper in Jiang Chen's eyes. How could this be? Chu Yunji held her chest and murmured. Jiang Chen's strength had left them with no room to resist. He was like a tyrant above the 9 heavens, devouring everything in the heavens and earth, crossing the 4 seas and looking down upon the world. At this moment, no one dared to take a step forward. Jiang Chen looked down upon everyone. We actually lost. Chu Fengji's face was filled with shock. However, the truth spoke louder than words. In Jiang Chen's eyes, the 30 god kings were like the autumn wind sweeping away the fallen leaves. They were invincible amongst the same level as him. Just how powerful is he? Ling Yan was filled with shock as he said in a low voice. At least, he did not have any chance of winning against Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was just a mid-divine king. Not to mention that he was invincible among his peers. Even a peak divine king like him had to admit defeat. This kid's future would be limitless. Jiang Chen, is this your true strength? Ling Yan's lips curled up slightly. Her heart was filled with peace. He was like the son of heaven that had descended from the 9 heavens, saving her from the fire and water. He had become her dream lover. She admitted that she had already fallen deeply in love with him when she was in Linhe boundary. Even so, it's too early for you to be happy. The two of us ancestors will defeat Ling Tian soon. Even if you defeat us, Ling Tian will not be a match for our Blood Tool sect and North Shadow sect's ancestors. Humph, Chu Yunji said unwillingly, glaring at Jiang Chen. You're really noisy. Jiang Chen frowned and shook his head. At this moment, a fire qilin descended from the sky. Everyone panicked and their expressions changed drastically. The earthly fire heavenly lightning sect was shocked. A peak divine king realm fire qilin swallowed the heavens and earth, swallowing the injured Chu Yunji in one gulp. She didn't even have the chance to resist. The people of the 10 great sects were stunned. Chu Fengji was also stunned. Jiang Chen was not joking. He was actually this terrifying. After devouring Chu Yunji, the fire qilin quietly stood behind Jiang Chen. The elders of the 10 great sects kept quiet out of fear. No one dared to make a sound. Half-step hierarch realm? Maybe we can challenge him. Chapter 29:17. Chu Fengji's face was full of shock as he gasped. However, Chu Yunji was already dead. She was eaten by the fire qilin. The power of the fire qilin had shocked the 3 half-step venerables. It was extremely difficult for them to kill a peak divine king realm fire qilin. The fire qilin's fire was extremely overbearing. No one below the half-step ultimate god realm could beat it. Even a half-step ultimate god realm divine beast might not be able to handle it. What a great Jiang Chen, to be able to make a peak divine king realm fire qilin submit to him. It's really amazing. Ling Yanyu said with a serious face. Ling Yun was overjoyed when she heard what he said. Jiang Chen's aura had surpassed everyone and could even stand shoulder to shoulder with the 3 half-step hierarch realm experts. Even the fire qilin was willing to stand behind Jiang Chen. Ling Yun had a whole new level of respect for Jiang Chen from its eyes. Our earthly fire heavenly lightning sect is finally saved. Yongla cried tears of joy. At this moment, she finally felt a glimmer of hope. Jiang Chen had defeated more than 30 divine king realm experts and turned the tide. Now, only the half-step hierarch realm experts were left. Although the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect's old ancestor was at a disadvantage, it seemed like his life was not in danger. The morale of the disciples of the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect was greatly boosted. Now, all of the disciples were riled up and started to fight back crazily. Chu Fengji and the others' faces were pale. Under the pressure of the fire qilin, they had no chance at all. They did not even dare to breathe loudly. Chu Yunji's death had caused Chu Fengji to lose his composure. Jiang Chen was unstoppable. At this moment, he could only hope that the old ancestor could suppress Ling Su, then they would have a greater chance. Brother Zhu, it looks like we have to end this battle quickly. Chu Tianzhou was slightly worried after seeing Chu Yunji killed by the fire qilin and Jiang Chen's invincible strength. They must suppress Ling Kuang first. Otherwise, their situation would be quite worrying. Alright. Zhu Zhenfeng knew what to do and agreed without hesitation. The two of them started to suppress Ling Zhao with all their skills. The battle between half-step hierarch experts shook the entire mountain range. The earthly fire heavenly lightning sect was on the verge of collapsing. Blood cloud hand. Ghost shadow perplexing steps. Kill through wolves. The 2 quasi-martial exalted experts' powerful attacks forced Ling Mo to retreat. His aura was also greatly suppressed. Earth fire seal. Ling Mo slammed out with his palm. His fiery chi sword. Overturning rivers and overturning seas. But Zhu Zhenfeng and Chu Tianzhou were clearly a level above him. Their terrifying pressure caused Ling Mo to continuously retreat. He felt an extremely great crisis of life and death. These two weren't easy to deal with. Most importantly, with the two of them working together, he was already starting to feel a bit overwhelmed. Heavenly Thunder Seal. Ling Tian attacked again, but the two of them joined hands to suppress him, not giving him a chance to catch his breath. Ling Mo, you're not our match. You'll only fail if you continue to fight. Ha ha ha, surrender now. When are you going to do so? Chu Tianzhou laughed heartily. Both of their attacks were deadly. Ling Tian's situation was deteriorating day by day. His defeat was beginning to show. Everyone could see that he was running out of time. Ling Mo's expression was grim. He gritted his teeth and his face was gloomy. Damn it. I'll drag one of you down with me even if I die. Humph. Ling Mo shouted angrily. His strength was 3 times stronger than the two of them. He would definitely win in a one-on-one battle. However, how could the two of them give him such a chance? Together they would live, apart they would die. They knew this very well. There was no need for words between half-step hierarch experts. The two of them advanced and retreated at the same time, not giving Ling Mo any chance at all. On the contrary, Ling Mo was getting more and more exhausted. Unfortunately, you don't have a chance anymore. Humph. Chu Tianzhou sneered and said. Ling Mo was forced to retreat by the two of them in the end. The blood cloud palm hit Ling Mo, causing him to fall from the sky and kneel on the ground. He slowly raised his head. His eyes were filled with unwillingness. Surrender or die. Zhu Zhenfeng looked at Ling Mo coldly and said in an overbearing manner. Dream on. Ling Mo roared angrily. He was ready for a battle of life and death. 2 half-step hierarchs? Aren't they going too far? Jiang Chen smiled and stood beside Ling Mo. No one had thought that Jiang Chen would dare to fight against a half-step hierarch. No matter how strong he was, it was impossible for him to fight against a half-step hierarch. He was a mid-divine king. A half-step hierarch could easily kill him. Brat, do you think you're qualified to stand here and talk to me? Zhu Zhenfeng looked at Jiang Chen with a faint smile and disdain. Little friend, the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect is in danger. I'm grateful that you're willing to help us, but I'll feel guilty if I lose my life. Ling Mo looked at Jiang Chen and said, Don't worry, Senior Ling. I don't care about these 2 bugs. Jiang Chen shrugged his shoulders and said disapprovingly. Zhu Zhenfeng and Chu Tianzhou looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. Jiang Chen didn't even put them in his eyes. This was intolerable. Little fella, although you're strong, you'll die a horrible death for provoking our old ancestor. The corner of Chu Fengji's mouth became more and more radiant. Jiang Chen's strength was not bad, but it was a pity that he was too conceited and overestimated himself. Did he really think that he could fight against a half-step hierarch expert? It was like hitting a rock with an egg. You're courting death. Zhu Zhenfeng said faintly. It's not worth getting angry with a mid-divine king. He should just kill him. Brother Zhu is right. Just kill him. You're too hateful. You're not qualified to stand up for the earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. You deserve to die for provoking the hierarch's dignity. Chu Tianzhou's gaze was like an arrow, pressing towards Jiang Chen. A dreadful pressure completely enveloped Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen took a step forward, not retreating, but advancing instead. His eyes were blazing with fighting intent. This time, he would not retreat. Senior Ling, I'll take care of the blood tool sect's trash. You deal with the other one. What do you think? Jiang Chen said. This. Can you really do it? Ling Mo's eyes were filled with shock. This fella must have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts to fight against a half-step hierarch expert. The gap between their strength was too huge. All right. I'll leave Chu Tianzhou to you. Do you think you're qualified to talk to me like this without the fire Qilin? I only need to move my finger to kill you. You reckless fool. I'll teach you a lesson now. Remember, the dignity of a hierarch is not to be challenged. Chu Tianzhou and Jiang Chen looked at each other with murderous intent in their eyes. All right, I'll fight you alone. Fire Qilin, help me. Chapter 29:18. Chu Tianzhou was slightly stunned. He thought that Jiang Chen was relying on the fire Qilin. Without the fire Qilin, how could Jiang Chen challenge him? But now, Jiang Chen had asked the fire Qilin to fight him alone. Wasn't Jiang Chen courting death? If a half-step venerable couldn't kill a mid-divine king, Chu Tianzhou wouldn't be able to live anymore. Jiang Chen, be careful. Ling Yun prayed in her heart. Although Jiang Chen had killed Chu Yunji and defeated over 30 divine king realm experts, the person standing in front of him was a genuine half-step venerable. His strength was unimaginable. A half-step venerable could change the world. This was the difference between a divine king realm and a hierarch realm. What a reckless fella. Dang. Chu Tianzhou flew towards Jiang Chen. At this moment, everyone held their breath because Jiang Chen's strength was too weak compared to Chu Tianzhou. The two of them could not be mentioned in the same breath. Little friend, be careful. Ling Yun reminded. Jiang Chen's expression changed and he immediately casted the dragon transformation. Under the transformation, Jiang Chen's strength had already reached the late Divine King realm. His terrifying strength and body were unprecedentedly strong. With a single punch, the mountains and rivers were shattered and lightning was surging. Chu Tianzhou and Jiang Chen clashed against each other. The two of them exchanged blows continuously. Jiang Chen's strength was also unleashed to the extreme. The two of them kept exchanging blows. The mountains were shattered, the rivers were flowing and the wind was howling. Jiang Chen's body was made of flesh and blood. A mid-divine king fighting against a half-step venerable. It was unimaginable for anyone. Jiang Chen was bold and unrestrained. He did not care about Chu Tianzhou's attacks at all. He took Chu Tianzhou's attacks head-on. Every step he took was filled with killing intent. Although he was in a passive position, his attacks had perfected Jiang Chen's physique. Every punch landed on the flesh, but it could not shake Jiang Chen. Awesome! Jiang Chen and Chu Tianzhou clashed again and again, shaking the entire earthly fire heavenly lightning sect. Even though Jiang Chen couldn't completely suppress Chu Tianzhou, in their eyes, Jiang Chen had already won. This guy is actually so terrifying? That's a half-step hierarch expert. Patriarch Chu has finally met his match. From the looks of it, this battle will not be easy. An expert like that is truly shocking. He possesses such terrifying battle prowess as a mid-god king. It's difficult to imagine just how terrifying he will be once he matures. That might not be the case. In my opinion, Chu Tianzhou has the upper hand now. Jiang Chen might not be able to withstand the Chu family's patriarch's continuous attacks. Without the fire Qilin, how is he going to fight the Chu family's patriarch? The elders of various sects looked solemn as they silently watched the battle. Jiang Chen retreated in order to advance, completely blocking Chu Tianzhou's attacks. Jiang Chen advanced with each step. This time, even Chu Tianzhou was shocked. This guy's strength is not bad. To be able to block my attacks. Chu Tianzhou was shocked. However, his attacks were not slow at all. Each of his attacks was fatal, pressuring Jiang Chen to the point of suffocation. Half-step hierarch realm and divine king realm are still far apart. Jiang Chen retreated step by step with a solemn expression. He needed to at least reach the late divine king realm in order to completely suppress a half-step hierarch realm expert. However, it would not be easy for Chu Tianzhou to defeat him now. Brat, go to hell. Chu Tianzhou struck out the blood cloud palm once again. Jiang Chen resisted it with all his strength. The heavenly dragon battle armor covered his body. The blood cloud palm hit Jiang Chen's body, but Jiang Chen wasn't afraid at all. In the end, he was only forced to take a dozen steps back. There was no sign of him losing. The entire earthly fire heavenly lightning sect was in an uproar. Jiang Chen had won everyone's respect and shock. Even the elders of the 10 sects did not dare to imagine that he could fight against a half-step hierarch. Even a peak divine king like Ling Yanyu was not a match for a half-step hierarch, but Jiang Chen did it. Looks like you'll think that I'm a pushover if I don't show you what I'm capable of. Jiang Chen sneered. With a shake of his body, he casted the ancient soaring dragon technique. His strength had reached a new peak, reaching the realm of half-step venerable. His strength was so powerful that it made Chu Tianzhou's facial expression change. Jiang Chen's strength had actually reached the same realm as him. This was too unbelievable. Any kind of secret technique that could be cultivated to such a level would be shocking to anyone who heard of it. Half-step hierarch realm. Chu Fengji's throat was a little hoarse. At this moment, the dreadful aura emitted from Jiang Chen's body had explained everything. Jiang Chen's aura was exactly the same as his old ancestors. Ling Chen and Zhu Zhenfeng, who were far away, were shocked as well. So what if you've reached the half-step hierarch realm by force? Let's see how long you can last. Humph. Chu Tianzhou knew that Jiang Chen was doing this at the cost of his own life. However, he did not know how long Jiang Chen could last. The powerful aura of a half-step hierarch was not something that a mid-divine king like him could withstand. It's enough to kill you. Jiang Chen smiled indifferently. Both of them continued to clash. Jiang Chen's aura was overwhelming. The ancient soaring dragon technique consumed a lot of energy. Jiang Chen's heart was extremely heavy. However, he wanted to see how strong his enemy was. The divine origin chi required to reach the half-step hierarch realm was as vast as the sea. Jiang Chen estimated that he could not last more than a quarter of an hour. However, this quarter of an hour was enough to deal with Chu Tianzhou. Blood Cloud Demon Hand. Chu Tianzhou's expression was solemn as he displayed his strongest technique. It was his most terrifying attack. 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen struck out with the 5 Elemental Divine Fire. The 5 Elemental Combat Dragon Seal underwent a great change and turned into the 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal. It was many times stronger than before, especially when Jiang Chen displayed it with his half-step hierarch realm strength. It was terrifying. What a terrifying seal. Everyone could not help but feel powerless, including Chu Tianzhou. The divine dragon was like fire, soaring to the 9 heavens, turning into a seal and destroying the world. The 5 Elements Divine Dragon Seal destroyed Chu Tianzhou's blood cloud demon slaughtering hand in an instant, crushing down with an unstoppable force. Chu Tianzhou's expression changed continuously as he retreated continuously. However, the 5 Elements Divine Dragon Seal was already within reach. No! Chu Tianzhou cried out in alarm. In the end, a trace of fear still appeared in his eyes. However, it was too late for Jiang Chen to stop his attack. The 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal's power almost destroyed half of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. Chu Tianzhou was also suppressed and was heavily injured. He almost lost his life from the seal. His breathing was intermittent. The 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal is really terrifying. Not only the others, even Jiang Chen took a deep breath. After the 5 Elemental True Fire transformed into the 5 Elemental Divine Fire, the 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal shocked the world for the first time. Chapter 29:19. What a terrifying fella. Ling Chen and Zhu Zhenfeng looked at Jiang Chen at the same time. At this moment, Jiang Chen was standing proudly in the sky, stepping on a green cloud, looking down at everyone. Chu Tianzhou's face was filled with pain. Jiang Chen's 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal had instantly made him lose his combat strength. Countless people were shocked by its terrifying might. After all, Jiang Chen's opponent was a half-step hierarch. Chu Fengzhi's expression was not any better than Chu Tianzhou's. The defeat of the Chu family's ancestor meant that the Blood Tool sect had completely lost their competitiveness. Chu Fengzhi was extremely nervous. Chu Yunji's death was undoubtedly a huge blow to the Blood Tool sect. The 9 great sects might not help the Blood Tool sect anymore. Even if they managed to defeat the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect, the Blood Tool sect would at most become a weak sect. This time, the Blood Tool sect's plan was completely disrupted by Jiang Chen. Not only did he kill the strongest genius of his sect, even their ancestor, Chu Tianzhou, was heavily injured. I've lost. Chu Tianzhou murmured with a pale expression. Although Jiang Chen was only a mid-divine king, his terrifying strength had defeated Chu Tianzhou. Undeniably, Jiang Chen was just too monstrous. Chu Tianzhou had to admit that Jiang Chen was just too abnormal. The moment Chu Tianzhou lowered his head, the crowd was in an uproar. In other words, he had submitted to Jiang Chen. A half-step venerable actually submitted to Jiang Chen just like that. It was unbelievable. It's useless now. Jiang Chen shook his head. Chu Tianzhou's expression changed and he said, "Then what do you want? You still have the cheek to ask me what I want? What a joke. Since what's done is done, there's no point in apologizing. The Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect has already lost, but do you have the intention to let them go? You don't. Because of your ambition and ruthlessness, you want to kill people to establish your prestige. Therefore, the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect is destined to be slaughtered by you. No one is worthy of pity. I, Jiang Chen, always like to cut the weeds and remove the roots. If I lose, I'm afraid I won't be able to walk out of here today, right?" Jiang Chen sneered. If he was the one who was defeated today, no one would be able to protect him. At this moment, Jiang Chen only had killing intent towards Chu Tianzhou. "You want to kill me?" Chu Tianzhou revealed a shocked expression and subconsciously took 2 steps back. His eyes were filled with gentleness. "Yes, I don't want to be remembered by others. I'll kill you to save myself the trouble of a long night. You want to establish your dominance, and coincidentally, I also want to establish my dominance. Otherwise, wouldn't everyone be able to bully the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect?" Jiang Chen countered with a question, his words piercing Chu Tianzhou's heart. Chu Tianzhou knew that this fellow had already made up his mind to kill him. "Although you defeated me, it won't be that easy to kill me." "Humph." Chu Tianzhou snorted coldly. "Is that so? Fire Qilin, he said that it won't be easy for me to kill him, so I'll leave it to you. Jiang Chen looked at the Fire Qilin, and everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Was he really going to kill the Blood Tool Sect's half-step venerable ancestor? How dare you? Chu Tianzhou's eyes were blazing, but his heart was filled with shock. If Jiang Chen really dared to kill him, the whole stellar sky boundary would be shaken. Kill, Jiang Chen said calmly. In the next second, the Fire Qilin soared into the sky and rushed towards Chu Tianzhou. Everyone held their breath as they watched this scene. The Fire Qilin's attack was swift and fierce. Even if Chu Tianzhou was in his peak state, he still didn't dare to be careless. In less than 10 moves, the Fire Qilin had captured Chu Tianzhou and used its huge claw to chop off Chu Tianzhou's arm. Damn bastard, you can't kill me! Chu Tianzhou's anger soared, and he was in extreme pain. Brother Zhu, save me! Chu Tianzhou quickly asked Zhu Zhenfeng for help. But at this moment, Zhu Zhenfeng had lost Chu Tianzhou's help, and it was extremely difficult for him to fight against Ling Su. Now, he was completely suppressed by Ling Su and couldn't even protect himself. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have regretted it. Dang! The Fire Qilin's strength almost made Chu Tianzhou feel hopeless. He didn't even have the chance to self-destruct and was swallowed by the Fire Qilin. However, Chu Tianzhou's strength had reached the half-step hierarch realm, and so was his soul realm. His physical body was destroyed, but if his soul could find a suitable physical body in a short period of time, he could still be reborn. However, his strength would be greatly reduced, and it would be impossible for him to recover in a short period of time. Still want to escape? Do you think you have the ability to do so? Jiang Chen raised his hand and looked at Chu Tianzhou's humble soul. As soon as the great Yu soul-forming light appeared, Chu Tianzhou had nowhere to hide and was completely sucked into it. Old ancestor! Chu Fengzhi's eyes were wide open, and his face was ferocious. He retreated dispiritedly, and his face was ashen. The peerless genius Chu Yunji was dead, and the old ancestor Chu Tianzhou was also dead. Chu Fengzhi was isolated and helpless, and he was completely in a passive position. Not only the people from the 9 great sects, even Zhu Zhenfeng and Ling Su were extremely afraid of Jiang Chen and the Fire Qilin. They were too strong. Chu Tianzhou wanted to escape, but his soul was suppressed. This meant that he was completely dead, and he didn't even have the chance to be reborn. Big Brother Ling, I admit defeat. I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. I hope that Big Brother Ling will forgive me. Zhu Zhenfeng retreated after one attack, and said with a solemn face. He finally lowered his arrogant head in front of Ling Su. Now that Chu Tianzhou was dead, it was difficult for him to fight alone. Forget about Jiang Chen and the Fire Qilin joining hands to deal with Ling Kuang. Even Ling Kuang alone was enough to make him lose his chance of survival. A wise man submits to circumstances. Zhu Zhenfeng had already seen through the current situation, so he wouldn't ask for trouble anymore. He had only received benefits from the Blood Tool sect, and now that the situation was gone, he would be really stupid if he still wanted to fight against the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. I was confused for a moment and was deceived by the Blood Tool sect and Chu Tianzhou. I hope Big Brother Ling can forgive me and give me a chance. After all, we are old friends who have known each other for more than 100,000 years. Zhu Zhenfeng said with a dry smile. He could only admit defeat in front of Ling Su's domineering aura. Chu Tianzhou was already dead, and he died in a horrible way. That mid-divine king was too monstrous, and that Fire Qilin. Zhu Zhenfeng couldn't help but shiver when he thought about how Chu Tianzhou was eaten by a divine beast. Was it really a moment of confusion? Humph. Ling Su said Lang. Yes. Big Brother Ling is right. I, Zhu Zhenfeng, will definitely follow Big Brother Ling's lead in the future. Zhu Zhenfeng's heart was filled with bitterness. He thought that this useless thing had been killed just like that. You said it better than a song. That's not what you said before. Senior Ling, I think it's better to just kill such a despicable person. He's just a two-faced person who will fall with the wind. Who knows when he might stab you in the back. That's not worth it. The Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect can't stand such a despicable person. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Chapter 29-20. Ling Li's eyes shifted as he looked at Jiang Chen. It was not easy to kill a half-step hierarch, not to mention that Zhu Zhenfeng had the Beiying sect behind him, one of the 10 great sections. Brother, Your aura is unparalleled and righteous. You must be joking. Zhu Zhenfeng looked at Jiang Chen and nodded with a smile. He knew that he was not a match for Jiang Chen and the others. If we don't kill this person, where will the dignity of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect go? Chu Tianzhou must die. The Blood Tool sect must perish. This is the consequence of offending the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. Senior Ling, don't you want the whole Stellar Sky domain to know the strength of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect? The Bei Ying sect must be destroyed. Zhu Zhenfeng must not be left alive. Otherwise, they will be criticized for colluding with Chu Tianzhou's Blood Tool sect. If we don't kill Zhu Zhenfeng, then the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect's prestige in the Stellar Sky domain will be gone. It's up to you whether you want to kill him or not, but I think the Blood Tool sect and Bei Ying sect must not be left alive. Zhu Zhenfeng is no exception. Jiang Chen transmitted his voice. Ling Ran pondered for a moment. It's easy to kill Zhu Zhenfeng, but if the experts of the other 9 great sects join hands, then the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect will be destroyed. The 9 great sects aren't necessarily united. They rely on the Blood Tool sect to benefit from it, but they also know what they want. There are only absolute benefits, not absolute allies. Now that the Blood Tool sect has been destroyed, the relationship between them has been washed away. Do you think that the 9 great sects will still stand up for the Blood Tool sect at all costs? Destroying the Bei Ying sect is just to show the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect's strength. The other 8 great sects will definitely not stand up for them. They only have themselves to blame. Zhu Zhenfeng's participation is equivalent to becoming the Blood Tool sect's life and death ally. The fact that the other sects haven't sent out their top experts has already proved that the Blood Tool sect is just a dispensable partner in their eyes. Jiang Chen's words reverberated in Ling Li's mind, causing him to be incomparably shocked. His thoughts also became clearer. He had cultivated for hundreds of thousands of years, constantly comprehending the great Tao in order to improve himself. However, he had long neglected the complicated relationships between the various sects and had become indecisive. Jiang Chen's words made his killing intent towards Zhu Zhenfeng even more intense. All right. Ling Su's words caused Zhu Zhenfeng's expression to change greatly. He quickly retreated, anger and hatred intertwining in his eyes. Ling Tian, do you really want to kill me? That's right. You joined hands with the Blood Tool sect to bully my Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect. Ling Li waved his hand and his aura changed again, pressing towards Zhu Zhenfeng without any fancy moves. Jiang Chen was right. What the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect needed to do now was to establish their prestige. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. Then no one would dare to defecate on their heads anymore. The Blood Tool sect was seeking revenge, while the Northern Shadow sect's Zhu Zhenfeng was retribution. I won't let you succeed even if I have to die. You're dreaming if you want to kill me. Zhu Zhenfeng turned around and left. Fire Qilin, lend Senior Ling a hand. Jiang Chen said with a smile. The Fire Qilin and Ling Li joined hands to block Zhu Zhenfeng's path of retreat. With the two of them joining hands, Zhu Zhenfeng had no way out. Jiang Chen had consumed a lot of his energy in the battle just now. The 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal required the coordination of the 5 Elemental Divine Fire in order to cast out a terrifying seal. Compared to the previous seal, the difference was like heaven and earth. The amount of energy required had almost depleted half of Jiang Chen's divine origin strength. He could only cast out one more attack before he would be exhausted. An hour later, Ling Li and the Fire Qilin's attacks finally heavily injured Zhu Zhenfeng. Zhu Zhenfeng's hair fluttered wildly in the wind. He was in a sorry state, unable to advance or retreat. He roared in pain, but there was no response. In the end, Ling Li killed Zhu Zhenfeng, but he had also consumed a lot of his energy. This battle was not easy for him either. The 9 great sects, including the 3 great elders of the Northern Shadow sect, had an ugly expression on their faces. Chu Fengji's heart was trembling. He wanted to escape, but he found that he was already trapped in the 5 elemental trigram fire formation by Jiang Chen. The death of Chu Tianzhou and Zhu Zhenfeng had shaken the entire stellar sky boundary. Nearly 30 Divine King Realm experts did not dare to breathe loudly. Elders of the Northern Shadow sect, you can choose to join the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect, submit, or die. Ling Kuang shouted. His voice shook the heavens, causing them to tremble in fear. That's because the aura was directed at the 3 of them. We're willing to submit. The 3 great Divine Kings said hurriedly. Zhu Zhenfeng's death meant that the Northern Shadow sect's survival was at stake. They could only choose to surrender to the light. Blood Tool Sect. Kill without mercy. Leave no one alive. Ling Li waved his hand. At that moment, Chu Fengji staggered a few steps back. His heart sank to the bottom. The Blood Tool Sect was finished this time. I, Ling Li, can let bygones be bygones. But it doesn't mean that my Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect is a pushover. If you dare to offend me again, my Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect will fight you to the death. Ling Tian said in a deep voice. The divine kings of the 8 great sects broke out in a cold sweat, as if they had just been granted amnesty. Ling Tian was also very clear that if he were to take action at this moment, it would be equivalent to declaring war against the other 8 great sections. Thank you, Senior Ling, for sparing our lives, the Divine King Realm experts said with gratitude. Their faces turned pale as they retreated angrily. The Blood Tool Sect was completely annihilated. The entire stellar sky boundary was shaken. The Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect had annihilated the Blood Tool Sect. No one dared to go against it. This time, we're lucky that little friend Jiang Chen was here. Otherwise, the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect situation would be unimaginable. Ling Li said solemnly. Senior Ling, you're too kind. I'm just doing what I should do. Moreover, your sect and I are fated to be together. Lady Ling Yun saved me in the past. I will remember this kindness forever. Jiang Chen said with a smile. A talented man and a beautiful woman, a match made in heaven. Since the two of you are fated, then I shall betroth Ling Yun to you today. Little friend Jiang Chen, what do you think? Ling Li said with a sincere smile. Ling Yanyu and Yang Le looked at each other. It was a joyous occasion for the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect. The disciples were cheering. However, at this moment, Jiang Chen shook his head hesitantly. This I think we'll leave it to fate, Jiang Chen said with a bitter smile. At this moment, Xiao Yu and Sister Ning were still nowhere to be seen. Although he had Ling Yun in his heart, he could not be with her, at least not now, because he could not give her too many promises. Chapter 29-21. When Jiang Chen told her to leave it to fate, the smile on her face disappeared and tears flowed down her cheeks. Jiang Chen went to the 9 Pinnacles Mountain for her and fought against the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect. She was touched and in love with him, but in return, she left it to fate. Since that's the case, I shall not force you, Jiang Chen. You have to rely on yourselves for your own matters. Ling Su said with a smile. I'll leave the rest to you, Yanyu. Don't disappoint me in the future. Ling Su said to Ling Yanyu. If it wasn't for Jiang Chen, the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect situation would have been unimaginable. Yanyu will not disappoint the old ancestor. If the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect is in danger, Yanyu will die 1,000 deaths. Ling Su turned around and disappeared from the sky. The rebuilding of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect was a pressing matter. Sect leader Ling Yun. Jiang Chen also noticed Ling Yun's unusual behavior. Ling Yanyu sighed, feeling sorry for Ling Yun. It's such a shameful thing to be rejected by a man, especially in front of the entire Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning Sect. Ling Yun is a proud girl. How could she endure such humiliation? The pride in her heart would even make her feel extremely embarrassed. Jiang Chen searched for Ling Yun everywhere but he couldn't find her. At that moment, he understood that Ling Yun must be angry at him, because what he said in front of the sect's disciples and master must have hurt her heart. Jiang Chen smiled bitterly and shook his head. But what can he do? He had shouldered enough emotional debts. Most importantly, Xiao Yu and Sister Ning's whereabouts were still unknown. Jiang Chen no longer had any distracting thoughts in his mind. At least for now, he couldn't sit still and enjoy the peace of mind. If he did, his conscience would be condemned. It's better to forget each other in the pugilistic world, Jiang Chen murmured. But there's nothing he can do if Ling Yun doesn't want to see him. Tongxian Mansion. I'll wait for you. Ling Yun, I'm sorry. After finishing his words, Jiang Chen quietly turned around. However, when he turned back, his silhouette had already drifted away. Ling Yun seemed to be hiding in the bamboo forest, unwilling to see him. Jiang Chen flicked the purple cloud obsidian sword in his hand, stood in the middle of the lake, and turned to leave. After Jiang Chen left, Ling Yun walked towards the center of the lake with a lonely expression. She extended her hand and the amethyst obsidian sword shot out from the center of the lake. A drop of Ling Yun's tear also fell on the amethyst obsidian sword. At that moment, layers upon layers of sword shadows flashed. Ling Yun's tears fused with the purple cloud obsidian sword at that moment. A sword radiance appeared. The edge of the blade was extraordinary. Ling Yun stared at the sharpened Ziyun obsidian sword and murmured, "It's sharpened. What a great amethyst obsidian sword. What a heartless person." Jiang Chen felt extremely helpless. Ling Yan told him that Yu Er was furious after he was swallowed by the so-called fire god in the Nine Pinnacles mountain. She attracted a black-clothed man and brought him away. Jiang Chen was extremely furious. However, he had no idea why. Because Ling Yan said that the person's strength was even stronger than his old ancestor Ling Tian. He might be a hierarch realm expert. Jiang Chen felt extremely depressed. No matter who it was, he would not give up on finding Yu Er. Old Gang too gave his granddaughter to him, but he still failed to protect Yu Er in the end. Jiang Chen felt helpless and could only go to Tongxian Mansion alone. At the east of Fengyin County, there was no wind and no clouds. The water was as clear as a mirror and the mountain was like a screen. That's why it was named Qingping Mountain. Birds and beasts flew in the sky and hid in the forest. Only ancient trees could be seen in the shade. Qingping Mountain was the only way to Fengyin County. It was a huge mountain that stretched for hundreds of thousands of miles. It was dangerous everywhere. There was a saying that there were many monsters in the mountain and there was smoke in the forest. It was so quiet that only the chirping of birds and insects could be heard. Ancient trees reached up to the sky. Water flowed for 800 miles and ferocious beasts could be seen everywhere. Brother Yu, we have been running for 3 months. If we continue, we don't know when we will be able to catch up. Can we really catch up? A skinny blue-clothed young man said in a low voice. He was already showing signs of exhaustion, and his face was filled with helplessness. After chasing the demonic beasts for so many years, it was impossible for him to give up so easily at this point. The gray-clothed young man looked solemn and said in a deep voice, "It's a crucial moment now. If we don't chase after it now, the demonic beast will definitely escape. We have been chasing it for more than a few years. If we give up now, all our efforts will be wasted. You can't hold on much longer, and it will definitely be exhausted. Once it slackens, it will be our chance. It's like torturing an eagle. Whoever collapses first will be the one to be tormented." The white-clothed young man beside him also said with a smile, "Brother Yu is right. Brother Yu is right. Little Gu, just endure it. Once we catch this demonic beast, we'll be rich. This guy's body is full of treasures." "Brother Bai, you make it sound easy, but we have been chasing it for more than 4 years, and this fellow still hasn't slackened at all," the man called Xiao Gu said with a sigh. No matter who it was unbearable for them to be unable to rest for dozens of days or even months. The divine origin qi in their body was constantly being consumed. Even gods were not omnipotent. Only by persevering can an iron rod be ground into a needle, Yu Chenglong said in a deep voice. He took the lead and turned into a stream of light as he continued forward. Bai Ying glanced at Xiao Gu beside him and said with a smile, "Let's go quickly. Let's go quickly. Don't you know Brother Yu's temper? I brought you along this time because I see that you are talented. If you retreat now, don't even think about raising your head in front of Brother Yu for the rest of your life. Let's go quickly." Bai Ying grabbed Xiao Gu and quickly ran. In the forest, flying was useless. Once the demonic beast entered the forest, it would be like a fish in the sea. It was extremely difficult to deal with. "Damn it, let's go all out." Gu Maolu gritted his teeth. Unwilling to fall behind, he also quickly followed. The sun was setting in the west. The white sun was leaning against the mountains, and the yellow river flowed into the sea. Mountains were connected to mountains, and trees were connected to trees. The mountains and the trees were almost indistinguishable. "There you are. I finally found you." Yu Chenglong's eyes turned cold, and his lips finally curled into a gratified smile. Behind a jade-green rock, the white spirit fox's aura was already exhausted. "Ha ha ha, I finally found you." Gu Maolu laughed loudly. The white spirit fox's red eyes flashed, and it wanted to run again. However, its path was already blocked by Yu Chenglong and Bai Ying. Chapter 29-22. It's been 4 years and 5 months. Little fellow, I've finally found you. Bai Ying stroked his fan with a faint smile on his face. He stared at the white spirit without blinking. Despicable humans. I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to kill me? The white fox's eyes were filled with hatred as it stared at Yu Chenglong and the others. The strong prey on the weak. Survival of the fittest. Yu Chenglong said indifferently. Little fella, if you didn't rely on absorbing the essence and souls of humans, how could you have cultivated for 1,000 years to reach the realm of 3 tails, which is comparable to a half-step martial sage? Is this reason not enough to behead you? Hee. Bai Ying chuckled. Why are you still talking to him? Brother Bai. Let's get rid of him quickly. We still have to go back. Gu Maolu chuckled. He was already impatient. It won't be easy for the 3 of you to catch me. Even if I die, I won't let you have it easy. The 3-tailed fox glared at Yu Chenglong and the others. Be careful, the azure spiritual Arctic fox is not ordinary. It's comparable to a divine beast, especially its tails. 3 tails are equivalent to 3 lives. We can't let our guard down until we kill it 3 times. Yu Chenglong said with a deep voice. The dragon-engraved blade in his hand shone with a cold light. Brother Yu's strength is extraordinary. You're really powerful. With such strength, you'll definitely have a place in the inner mansion. Gu Maolu praised Yu Chenglong solemnly. Noisy. What are you waiting for? Yu Chenglong glanced at Gu Maolu. The 3 of them joined forces and charged at the 3-tailed azure spiritual Arctic fox. Gigi. The 3-tailed fox let out an ear-piercing shriek. The 3 of them frowned and looked solemn. Even a half-step venerable would have to avoid their attacks. Yu Chenglong and Bai Ying were both at the peak of the Divine King realm, while Gu Maolu was at the late Divine King realm. Even so, the strength of the 3 of them could not be underestimated. The 3-tailed fox spirit was extremely fast, but it could only defend against the 3 of them. It did not have any chance to attack first. Extreme temptation. The 3-tailed spirit fox growled and its white fur fell down. A pungent fragrance filled the air. Yu Chenglong and Bai Ying quickly retreated. However, Gu Maolu wasn't so lucky. He was covered by the white fur and fell victim to the 3-tailed spirit fox's attack. What a beautiful person. Come on, come on. Gu Maolu patted his butt and said with an ambiguous expression. His eyes were hazy as he sank into the illusion. This guy. Bai Ying didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. Gu Maolu's strength was inferior to theirs, and he was also burdened by the secular world. His mental state was worrying, so he easily fell for the 3-tailed spirit fox's trick. Under the extreme temptation, the moment he stepped into the environment, he was at the mercy of the fox. Break! Yu Chenglong brandished his saber, shaking the heavens and the earth. As the saber descended, the 3-tailed spirit fox had no choice but to retreat. Bai Ying blocked the way, and the 2 of them pressed down almost instantly. Wherever the saber went, the 3-tailed spirit fox dodged continuously. Before it could recover from its shock, it was struck in the back by a flying needle from Bai Ying's feather fan. Decapitate me! Yu Chenglong charged forward again. With 3 slashes, the 3-tailed spirit fox was instantly decapitated. Fresh blood flowed and splattered down. At that moment, Gu Maolu's body trembled, and his eyes regained their clarity. He looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Yu Chenglong and Bai Ying had already decapitated him. He couldn't help but look at the 3-tailed spirit fox with lingering fear. I fell for it, Gu Maolu said, feeling wronged. Gu Maolu said, feeling wronged. A bitter smile hung on his lips. Be careful! Bai Ying shouted, and the 3-tailed spirit fox charged at Gu Maolu again. This time, it only had 2 tails left. Although Gu Maolu was shocked, he didn't panic. His face was ashen, and he retreated. Then, he turned around and gathered his strength. He shouted, Heavenly Maiden scattering flowers. A deafening fart shook off countless leaves, and it felt as if countless trees were falling. It was truly a heavenly maiden scattering flowers. The strength of the fart was astonishing. Even Yu Chenglong and Bai Ying covered their mouths and noses and quickly retreated. Their faces were red and pale. However, even Gu Maolu didn't expect that the 3-tailed spirit fox would fall into his trap. The strength of Gu Maolu's fart was shocking. The stench of the fart filled the air, and the poisonous gas attacked the heart. The 3-tailed spirit fox actually fainted. On the top of a mountain far away, Jiang Chen silently watched this scene. The corner of his mouth curled into a knowing smile. Suddenly, he thought of the god Luo clan's De Huang. That guy was so indulged in pleasure that he forgot about his duties. After he left Tongxian Mansion, he would look for that guy and see if he had forgotten about him. However, Jiang Chen only thought about it. As long as that De Huang dog was safe, everything was fine. Jiang Chen didn't care about anything else. One day, the brothers would be reunited. Gu Maolu turned around. Even he was shocked. Brother Yu, Brother Bai, it's reasonable for you to think highly of me. Look, didn't I defeat the three-tailed spirit fox? As Gu Maolu spoke, he wanted to catch the three-tailed spirit fox. However, the three-tailed spirit fox instantly woke up. Like a rabbit kicking an eagle, it forced Gu Maolu to retreat. Gu Maolu's face was scratched by the three-tailed spirit fox, and he was covered in blood. Fuck your second uncle. I'm so handsome, but my face was ruined by you. Gu Maolu's anger soared. The three of them fought the three-tailed spirit fox again. This time, the three-tailed spirit fox was smarter. It retreated as it fought. Even though it was 1 against 3, it was still abnormally intense. If it wasn't for a moment of carelessness, it wouldn't have been killed so easily. The three-tailed spirit fox's strength was comparable to a half-step venerable. After 3 days of battle, Yu Chenglong and the others finally defeated the three-tailed spirit fox. The three-tailed spirit fox was completely killed, and all 3 of them died. However, at the same time, Yu Chenglong and the others also suffered from different degrees of injuries. Soul-locking lantern. Seal it. Yu Chenglong held the cyan-treasured lantern in his hand. The three-tailed spirit fox's soul was contained within it. Hard work pays off. Hee, Brother Yu, Brother Bai, this time, we've gained quite a lot. Gu Maolu chuckled. His face was filled with excitement. The three-tailed cyan spirit white fox was abnormally strong. If it was a one-on-one fight, even Yu Chenglong didn't have absolute confidence in defeating it. The 3 of them had to work together. This time, we didn't waste our efforts. Bai Ying shrugged his shoulders and smiled. His eyes were also filled with joy. Only Yu Chenglong's eyes were ice cold, and his face was extremely grave. Hiding your head but showing your tail? What kind of hero are you? Come out, Yu Chenglong said coldly. Gu Maolu and Bai Ying's expressions changed. There was actually someone hiding beside them? He, as expected of one of the 3 dragon heads. Yu Chenglong, you've really made us brothers look at you in a different light. However, you guys were still 1 step behind. Now, you know what it means to be the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Chapter 29-23. The Jiang Brothers? Bai Ying's face darkened. Brother Bai has a good eye. Hee. A young man in a crimson robe stood proudly. His eyes were like those of an eagle that came from hell. His crimson eyes flickered with a crystal-clear divine light. His aura was not any weaker than Bai Ying's. Heaven and earth painting. It seems like the Jiang brothers have planned this from the start. Yu Chenglong said indifferently. His eyes were clear as he looked at Jiang Tian. You flatter me, Brother Yu. We brothers are just here to make a living. We have long wanted this three-tailed spirit fox. However, Brother Yu and the other 2 were a step ahead of us. Why don't you let us have it? Jiang Tian said with a smile. His expression did not change, but it was an open robbery. In the end, you just want to reap the benefits. Gu Maolu said in a deep voice. If it wasn't for Brother Yu, you would already be dead. Jiang Qing sneered, looking at Gu Maolu with disdain. The 4 of them had always been inseparable. Individually, their strength was similar to Bai Ying's. However, if they joined forces, they would be an extremely powerful force. It was even rumored that the 4 of them had killed a half-step martial highness. Not many people were willing to offend them. Gu Maolu coldly stared at the 4 Jiang brothers. However, the strength of the 4 of them was exceptionally frightening. At this moment, even Yu Chenglong wasn't willing to fight against them. Moreover, the 3 of them were heavily injured. What if I, Yu Chenglong, am not willing? I don't think Brother Yu is that stupid, right? If we fight, you might not even be able to defeat the 2 of us. Do you think that the 3 of you will be able to survive if the 4 of us join forces? Jiang Tian said in a deep voice. Then let's settle this with one battle. Yu Chenglong said indifferently without fear. He must obtain the three-tailed spiritual fox. Sister Zhu needed the three-tailed spiritual fox to treat her illness. Without it, her condition would be even more serious. Taking advantage of others when they are down, you four. Although Bai Ying was indignant, this was not the time to throw a tantrum. This was a battle of life and death. If there was even the slightest mistake, he could lose his reputation on the spot. Humans die for wealth, just as birds die for food. Since the four Jiang brothers had rushed over to fight for the three-tailed spirit fox, they were also prepared to fight at any time. Humph, you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Yu Chenglong, I really want to see if you can block the attacks of us four brothers. We Jiang brothers have long wanted to experience the methods of the Outer Palace's three dragon heads. Zhang Tian narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice. Since Yu Chenglong was so stubborn, this battle was unavoidable. Taking advantage of someone's perilous state is indeed the behavior of a vile character. I would like to meddle in this matter. Jiang Chen leaped up and landed on the mountain peak. Everyone was shocked. Even Gu Maolu had a strange expression on his face as he silently looked at Jiang Chen. Ha ha ha, Mid-God King? You dare to meddle in other people's business? Believe it or not, I can kill you here with a single punch. Jiang Qing burst into laughter as he looked at Jiang Chen in disdain. His appearance was a humiliation to them. Since when did a mid-god king dare to show off in front of them? Brother, this matter has nothing to do with you. You should leave. Gu Maolu sighed. They're bullying us. I want to get involved in this mess. Jiang Chen crossed his arms and said with a smile. He was not afraid of the Jiang brothers at all. Young hero, not bad. It's a pity that you're a little weak. Yu Chenglong nodded his head slightly and glanced at Jiang Chen. He actually felt like they were on the same level. It's a pity that his strength was not enough. Then I'll kill you too. Second brother, third brother, fourth brother, I'll kill you today. Zhang Tian shouted coldly. The four brothers were united and ready to fight at any time. Brat, if you can escape, I'll be happy to be friends with you. Bai Ying glanced at Jiang Chen with a chuckle. It's a pity that Jiang Chen's strength was not enough for them. Jiang Chen was not even comparable to Gu Maolu. Furthermore, they were all outstanding geniuses. They were much stronger than ordinary people. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Tian and the other three arrived. Jiang Tian and Jiang Di instantly went up against Yu Chenglong, while Jiang Dan and Jiang Qing went up against Gu Maolu, Bai Ying and Jiang Chen. The two of them were weaker than Yu Chenglong, especially Gu Maolu, who was injured. At this moment, Jiang Dan and Jiang Qing's attacks were extremely ferocious. The two of them were not any weaker than the sect master of the Earthly Fire Heavenly Lightning sect, Ling Yanyu. They were both peak divine kings. Yu Chenglong fought against two enemies at the same time. His aura did not decrease at all. Although Yu Chenglong's strength was not at the half-step venerable realm, the gap between peak divine kings was not to be underestimated. Yu Chenglong fought against Jiang Tian and Jiang Di without showing any signs of losing even though he was heavily injured. Dragon Ascending Saber Technique. Bloodblade Technique. Yu Chenglong's saber shadows filled the sky. The dragon-engraved saber in his hand was also a low-grade primordial divine artifact, and it could not be underestimated. The blood splattered everywhere, and every strike was fatal. It didn't seem like he was heavily injured at all, and the edge of the saber was still extraordinarily sharp. With an imposing aura, it swept towards the Jiang Tian brothers. The forest beneath his feet scattered and the ancient trees were all turned into dust under the saber light, as expected of one of the three dragon heads. However, I'm curious how much of your strength you can display. Humph. Jiang Chen retreated in order to advance. He was not afraid at all. The two brothers were connected to each other's minds, allowing them to attack and defend with ease. Jiang Clan's Tan Tue. Jiang Tian's legs moved like lightning, leaving afterimages of his legs in the sky. The battle between the three was extremely intense. The Jiang brothers were not able to gain the upper hand against Yu Chenglong. On the other hand, Bai Ying and Gu Maolu were in a worrying state. The two of them were being suppressed by Jiang Dan and Jiang Qing, unable to retaliate at all. It's my turn. Jiang Chen smiled and rose into the sky with the Azure Dragon's 5 steps. As soon as the 5 elemental divine dragon seal appeared, Jiang Dan and Jiang Qing's expressions changed. What a powerful attack! The two of them dodged quickly. The two brothers became solemn after Jiang Chen's attack. However, Jiang Chen did not use the ancient soaring dragon technique, so his strength was limited. Thus, the power of the 5-elemental divine dragon seal was greatly reduced. Even so, the 5-elemental divine dragon seal was not to be underestimated. An ordinary late divine king would not dare to take it head-on. Even the 2 peak divine kings could only dodge. The Jiang brothers had reached the peak divine king realm not long ago, so their foundation was not too strong. Chapter 29-24. Although this brat is only a mid-divine king, he can definitely fight against a late divine king. Bai Ying nodded. Even Gu Maolu might not be able to withstand that attack. It seemed that they had underestimated Jiang Chen. Brat, you really don't know what's good for you. If I don't kill you today, your grandfather Jiang's surname is not Jiang. Jiang Qing roared. The 2 of them approached each other again. The 3 of them glanced at each other and attacked with all their strength. Although Gu Maolu was not very strong, Bai Ying was still strong. If he was at his peak, the 2 brothers would not be his opponent. Jiang Chen retreated as he fought. At least, he could not show his defeat at this moment. Although the 3 of them could not suppress Jiang Dan and Jiang Qing, they did not let the 2 brothers gain the upper hand. On the other side, Yu Chenglong's aura was growing stronger and stronger. Jiang Tian and Jiang Di were actually unable to do anything to him. Yu Chenglong was bold and decisive, suppressing him in a domineering manner. Even though he was heavily injured, his aura did not weaken. This caused Jiang Tian and Jiang Di to feel the urge to retreat. This Yu Chenglong was ultimately too powerful. Without the 4 of them working together, it seemed impossible to suppress him. At this moment, Jiang Dan and Jiang Qing still could not subdue Bai Ying and the other 2 brothers. Most importantly, the guy who had appeared out of nowhere had actually blocked their attacks. Although it was not his own contribution, he played an important role in the battle. He was actually comparable to a late divine king. Yu Chenglong stepped on the air with an overwhelming aura. Jiang Tian and Jiang Di were finally forced back. They looked rather miserable. The 3 dragon heads of the outer palace are indeed admirable. The mountains never change, and the rivers never stop flowing. Brother Yu, we will meet again. Jiang Tian shouted and glanced at Jiang Chen. His eyes were filled with malice. Brat, don't let me see you again. If I see you in Fengyin province, I'll kill you without mercy. Jiang Tian and the other 3 quickly retreated. Yu Chenglong also didn't have any intention of continuing to chase after them. He lightly coughed. His injuries were still very serious, but if the Jiang brothers wanted to deal with him, it wouldn't be that easy. Thank you for today, brother. Yu Chenglong looked at Jiang Chen and said. It's nothing. Jiang Chen shook his head with a smile. A mid-divine king actually possesses such might. Where are you from? Yu Chenglong asked. It doesn't matter where I come from. I'm going to Tongxian Mansion. Jiang Chen said. Tongxian Mansion? Ha ha ha, it seems like fate has brought us together. We are also members of Tongxian Mansion. You should call us senior brothers. Yu Chenglong is one of the 3 leaders of Tongxian Mansion's outer mansion. He is also one of the strongest rank 3 students. Bai Ying laughed heartily. Very well. Senior brothers, please take me back to Tongxian Mansion. Jiang Chen had guessed that these 3 people were probably from Tongxian Mansion. All right, let's go together then. Yu Chenglong said faintly. Brother Yu is cold and doesn't like to talk. However, he is a good person. You can follow me from now on. I guarantee that you'll have a good life in the academy. Gu Maolu patted his chest and said proudly. Then I'll thank senior brother in advance. Jiang Chen said with a smile. You're quite arrogant to pass through Qingping Mountain alone. Do you know that there are hierarch realm demonic beasts in Qingping Mountain? Gu Maolu looked around nervously with a grave expression on his face. Give me back my son. Before Gu Maolu finished his sentence, the 4 of them heard a miserable and angry scream. Shut your mouth. Bai Ying wanted to slap him to death. This stinky mouth was even more effective than those blessed monks in the West Pole Divine region. At this moment, even Yu Chenglong frowned and his expression changed. Hierarch realm. Unbeatable. Yu Chenglong's words had explained everything. They were definitely not a match for a hierarch realm expert. There was only one way, which was to run away. Jiang Chen did not dare to be careless. He was not afraid of a half-step hierarch realm expert, but he was still wary of a Hierarch realm expert. He could only run away when encountering such an opponent. It's a six-tailed spiritual fox. Jiang Chen looked back and took a deep breath. His expression was extremely gloomy. That fella must be the three-tailed spiritual fox's mother. What a sin. However, their speed was still too slow. They were not on the same level as a Hierarch realm expert. Jiang Chen could use the Great Void technique to run faster than Yu Chenglong. However, Jiang Chen could not bear to leave the three of them behind. This time it feels so good. Gu Maolu said with a bitter smile. His expression had completely changed. After killing the young one, the old one is here to cause trouble. Bai Ying licked his dry lips. The six-tailed spiritual fox was about to arrive. You guys go first. I'll cover you. Three-tailed spiritual fox. Remember to hand it over to Master Lin. Yu Chenglong said in a deep voice. He was ready to fight the six-tailed spiritual fox. At that moment, Jiang Chen saw the determination in Yu Chenglong's eyes. He was going to use his life to exchange for a chance for them to escape. He's a man, Jiang Chen thought. However, he was not a match for the six-tailed spiritual fox at that moment. The six-tailed spiritual fox gave him an oppressive aura that made it hard for him to breathe. Even Zhou Maji might not be as domineering as it was. With 6 lives, the six-tailed fox spirit's battle prowess was almost multiplied. It was invincible among those of the same level. Be it humans or demonic beasts, they were no match for it. Otherwise, with Yu Chenglong's strength, he wouldn't have been so heavily injured by the three-tailed fox spirit even after the three of them worked together. No, brother Yu, we'll go together if we leave or die together if we die. Bai Ying said while gritting his teeth. Damn humans. How dare you kill my son? My son. The six-tailed spiritual fox stood in front of Jiang Chen and the others. It looked exactly the same as the previous three-tailed spiritual fox. However, the six-tailed spiritual fox's 6 tails made their hearts sink. They did not even have the strength to resist. The pressure of a Hierarch expert made them unable to return the greeting. The six-tailed spiritual fox's sorrow and anger made the 4 of them feel as if they were facing a formidable enemy. All of you must die. The six-tailed spiritual fox's deathly voice made Yu Chenglong and the others feel despair. He seems to be even stronger than Master Lin. Gu Maolu knew that no one would be able to save them this time. Sister Zhu, my death is not to be regretted. However, I am unwilling to not be able to see you again. Yu Chenglong raised his head and looked at the sky. His face was pale, not because of fear, but because he was worried. I can only tribe. Chapter 29-25. I will use your deaths as a sacrifice for my son. The six-tailed spiritual fox bellowed and a terrifying force swept across thousands of miles. Evil creature, stop it. Suddenly, a deafening sound rang out, causing the expressions of Yu Chenglong and the others to change once again. The surroundings became deathly silent. Even the six-tailed spirit fox took 2 steps back and looked at its surroundings in bewilderment. May I know who you are? The pain of Six Tails losing his son. I must kill these people to vent the anger in my heart. The six-tailed spiritual fox said in a low voice. The weak are prey to the strong, survival of the fittest. This is the most natural rule of survival in this world. Bullying the weak is already an honorable. How can you kill again? You are bound to be burdened by your past. The voice in the air was filled with shock. It even cleansed everyone's soul, including the six-tailed spiritual fox. Its face turned pale. The terrifying soul pressure made it hard for it to breathe. It couldn't even muster the will to resist the soul of an Emperor realm expert. The six-tailed spiritual fox was shocked. It had cultivated in Qingping Mountain for more than 200,000 years and had never seen an Emperor realm expert. It had actually met one today. But I am not satisfied. I am not satisfied. The six-tailed spiritual fox gritted its teeth and said. The pain of losing its son had made it determined to kill Jiang Chen and the rest, but the terrifying pressure of an Emperor realm expert made it feel extremely terrified. The Tao is the law of nature. Return and return. Let's go. If you insist, I will not let you off easily. The pressure of an Emperor realm expert made Yu Chenglong and the rest's expressions turn ugly. They could not say a word. All right. Thank you for your guidance, Senior. The six-tailed spirit fox said unwillingly. However, there was nothing it could do in the face of such a terrifying Emperor realm expert. It could only retreat. Otherwise, the might of an Emperor Realm expert would cause it to turn into ashes in an instant. The departure of the six-tailed spiritual fox made Yu Chenglong and the rest feel as if they had been pardoned. However, even Yu Chenglong's clothes were drenched in sweat, let alone by Ying and Gu Maolu. The three of them felt as if they had just survived a disaster. Thank you for saving my life, Senior. Yu Chenglong and the other two knelt on the ground, their faces filled with gratitude. They were surprised and overjoyed at the same time, because they had never seen the might of an Emperor Realm cultivator in their entire lifetime. They never thought that they would be saved by an Emperor Realm cultivator today. It was too shocking. Not even the Vice Dean would believe that they were lucky enough to be saved by a Soul Emperor. Puffed. Jiang Chen spurted out a mouthful of blood. The soul of an Emperor Realm expert was naturally revealed by him. Especially the terrifying pressure just now. Jiang Chen didn't expect that the backlash from using the pressure of an Emperor Realm expert would be so terrifying. His soul was injured once again, but compared to the last time, it wasn't as serious. However, this time, it made Jiang Chen realize that he absolutely couldn't use the soul of an Emperor Realm expert, unless it was a matter of life and death. Brother, are you okay? Gu Maolu helped Jiang Chen up and asked worriedly. I'm fine, but I feel that my soul is slightly injured. Was that the pressure of an Emperor Realm expert? It's so terrifying, I almost couldn't endure it anymore. The pressure was too strong. I couldn't bear it, otherwise, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Jiang Chen said with a bitter smile. He seemed to be feeling rather awkward. Don't talk about you. Even I was scared to the point of peeing myself. An Emperor Realm expert, that's an Emperor Realm expert. I've never seen one before, but it seems like the Emperor Realm expert left right after saving us. What a pity. If I could get an Emperor Realm expert signature, that would be great. Gu Maolu said with a smile. Shut up. An Emperor Realm expert isn't someone you can make up. This time, we were lucky enough to be saved by an Emperor Realm expert. Next time, we won't be so lucky. Bai Ying glared at Gu Maolu. What if the Emperor Realm expert didn't go far? This guy was too daring. He actually dared to disrespect an Emperor Realm expert. They were fortunate to have an Emperor Realm expert to lend them a helping hand. This was something that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. It was a great fortune for them. It's good that you're fine, we can't stay here for long. Let's leave Qingping Mountain as soon as possible. Yu Chenglong said in a low voice. Junior brother, you must thank me properly when we return. Gu Maolu said to Jiang Chen in a serious manner. The group quickly left Qingping Mountain, heading towards the nearest city. Jiang Chen laughed in his heart. If he hadn't intentionally disguised the soul pressure of an Emperor Realm expert, Jiang Chen wouldn't have suffered such a huge backlash. Although the soul of an Emperor Realm expert was powerful, Jiang Chen's strength wasn't enough. An Emperor Realm expert's soul was undoubtedly stronger than others, but if he forcefully used the soul of an Emperor Realm expert, only he himself would know the injuries he would suffer. The blissful city was located between Fengyin County and Qingping Mountain. It was also close to Tongxian Mansion, less than 200,000 li away. This is the blissful city. Between the profound connection divine palace of Fengyin County, the heaven connection divine palace of Deming County and the Qingping Mountain, there were a few demonic beasts in the Qingping Mountain that transformed into human form and entered the blissful city. This was a famous no man's land. Countless experts could become famous overnight here, or they could become trash in the blissful city. This was a city of absurdity, but also a city of blissful. Hence it got its name. Although this place is very chaotic, it's not out of control. The people of Tongxian Mansion enjoy a lot of preferential treatment here, because the city lord of the blissful city has a good relationship with the mansion lord of Tongxian Mansion. Gu Maolu had a proud expression as he explained to Jiang Chen. He was very fond of this junior brother who hadn't entered Tongxian Mansion yet. After all, they had fought side by side in the past. Let's go, let's go. Today is the big day of the auction. There won't be any seats left if we're late. That's right. Guests from all over the world have come. Today's auction will definitely be packed. Go, go, go. Don't block the way, it'll be too late. Many people quickly headed toward the 100-story building in front of them. The huge sign on the door was extremely conspicuous, and the words Blissful City were extremely conspicuous. We're in luck today. It's actually the Blissful City's auction that's held once in 1,000 years. There will definitely be some good stuff, hee hee. Gu Maolu's eyes lit up when he saw so many people heading toward the Blissful City. It seems like we're really in luck. It's indeed the Blissful City's auction that's held once in 1,000 years. There might really be some good stuff. Brother Yu, why don't we join in the fun? Bai Ying said with a smile. Yu Chenglong shook his head. Sister Zhu is still waiting for my three-tailed spirit fox to be used in the medicine. The three of you can have one each. I won't stand on ceremony with the rest of the spirit fox's body. All right then, Brother Yu, let's catch up at Tongxian Mansion. Chapter 29-26. Bai Ying looked at Yu Chenglong's departing figure and said solemnly, Brother Yu is really infatuated with love. As one of the three leaders of Tongxian Mansion's outer palace, Brother Yu's achievements are limitless. I wonder if it's a good or bad thing for him to be so infatuated with love. What is love in the world? It's just a promise of life and death. Love is the most difficult thing for people to give up. However, on the path of cultivation without love, it would perhaps be mediocre. The most important thing in the world is the word love. At least in my opinion, a heartless person will never be able to achieve anything great. Jiang Chen smiled. Bai Ying glanced at Jiang Chen in surprise. He didn't look down on Jiang Chen, because Jiang Chen had displayed his strength in the previous battle and they had gone through trials and tribulations together. Therefore, Bai Ying thought highly of Jiang Chen. I didn't expect you to have your own thoughts. You're right. There's no meaning in living for those who are heartless and heartless. It's said that those who forget their emotions can achieve the great Tao. But how many people have been able to forget their emotions? Bai Ying suddenly shook his head and sighed. Wishing to win a person's heart and be together till death. That's probably how it goes. Brother Jiang, why don't we have a chat at the House of Joy after the Emperor's auction? How can a few cups of light wine compare to the wind, flowers, snow, and moon? Ha ha ha. Gu Maolu said with an ambiguous smile. Jiang Chen couldn't help but smile. This guy was really a straightforward person. You were speaking like a human in the beginning, but the more you spoke, the more sarcastic you became. Don't lead little junior brother astray. Bai Ying's face darkened. Gu Maolu shrugged and didn't say anything else. He smiled awkwardly and the three of them entered the auction hall. It had to be said that the Great Tang Empire Hall was simply too huge. It could accommodate 200,000 people. Furthermore, almost all the halls below the 30th floor were connected. Below the 30th floor was the auction house. Just the auction house of the Great Tang Empire Hall alone occupied an area of 10 square miles. One could well imagine how magnificent the Great Tang Empire Hall was. Bai Ying immediately flashed a brown badge in his hand. The beautiful receptionist's eyes immediately lit up and became extremely flattering, as if she wanted to stick close to them. We, the students of Tongxian Mansion, have great authority in Blissful City. Even the guards of Blissful City can't directly arrest us. We are treated extremely well in various places in Blissful City. Gu Maolu explained to Jiang Chen. Think about it. The Profound Connection Divine Palace is extremely powerful. It's undoubtedly one of the most powerful forces in the entire northern cold divine region. The Blissful City is just a slightly bigger city compared to the Profound Connection Divine Palace. It's at most one of the top 10 cities in Fengyun County. It's not easy for it to compete with the other cities. If it wasn't for its geographical location, it wouldn't be able to have such a high status. Let's get back to the topic. The weakest student of our Tongxian Mansion is a divine king. Are there really that many divine king realm experts? You're wrong. Even in the Blissful City with a population of hundreds of millions, there won't be more than 3,000 divine king realm experts, and all of them are famous figures. Any student of our Tongxian Mansion is a divine king. So don't you think they're powerful? That's why the plaque of Tongxian Mansion is like a pass in the Blissful City. It's the same in the entire Fengyun County. When you enter Tongxian Mansion in the future, you'll know the benefits. Gu Maolu said happily as he swaggered around, beaming with joy at the beautiful receptionist beside him. Even if you go to a brothel, people will still look up to you. Am I right? Jiang Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This fella was truly a weirdo. Did all of his late divine king cultivation come from dual cultivation? He couldn't move his eyes away from beauties. An expert like him was not rare in the Profound Connection Divine Palace, but if he went to any other region, he would be treated like an old ancestor. How could there be a lack of beauties? After the beautiful receptionist led the three of them to the VIP seats, she prepared to leave. Gu Maolu even gave the beautiful receptionist's perky but a dubious slap, and the beautiful receptionist beamed with joy as she exchanged flirtatious glances with him. Bai Ying frowned his brows and coughed. This fella has almost lost the face of Tongxian Mansion. The receptionist hurriedly left in fear and trepidation. Lady, please wait a moment. There's still some time before the auction starts. I wonder if I can auction some things? Jiang Chen looked at the girl who had a terrified expression and asked. Jiang Chen had some understanding towards the blissful city and the profound connection divine palace. He came here to get some good stuff. Of course, it would be best if he could get some pills that could nourish the soul. It would be best if he could get some rare items too. However, Jiang Chen didn't have many supreme-grade divine origin stones left. It might not be enough for him to auction things. Yes, as long as it's before the auction starts, it's allowed. Even some supreme treasures can be arranged after the auction starts. Mister, are you planning to auction something? That's right. Bring me there. Jiang Chen said. Younger brother Jiang, are you really going to auction something? Gu Maolu looked at Jiang Chen in astonishment. Don't think of others as filthy as you. Bai Ying glared at Gu Maolu and said, if you're in a hurry, I can lend you some divine origin stones. Gu Maolu was very generous and didn't hold back on Jiang Chen. I just want to exchange some divine origin stones. Jiang Chen appreciates Brother Gu's kind intentions. All right then. Come back soon. The receptionist led Jiang Chen into the appraiser hall and two old men came to greet Jiang Chen. May I know what you want to auction? A blade. A low-grade origin spirit tool blade. Jiang Chen said. The two appraisers' countenance slightly changed. They looked at each other and looked at Jiang Chen solemnly. An origin spirit tool was very popular and its value was immeasurable. It was very tempting to divine kings and even hierarch realm experts. In many big sects it was already very good to have 3 to 5 origin spirit tools. Especially a good quality origin spirit tool. It was very difficult to find one. Normally, origin spirit tools were very rare. Apart from some true grandmasters, very few people were willing to auction them. They would keep it for themselves or exchange it for greater benefits. Chapter 29-27. Mister's Primordial Spirit Tool. Can we take a look? One of the appraisers said with a serious expression. When Jiang Chen took out the blade, the two appraisers were slightly shocked. They couldn't help but reveal a look of surprise and envy. It's indeed a good blade. I wonder what's the name of this blade? The appraiser was overjoyed as he looked at Jiang Chen with a smile. I picked it up. I don't know either. Just call it Big Black Blade. But I can be sure that this blade is ownerless. It hasn't even recognized a master. The two appraisers almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Any primordial divine tool was extraordinary and had its own domineering name. However, when it came to him, it was actually called by the name of a dog. Moreover, he told them that he picked it up from the streets? This was too ridiculous. The appraiser almost blurted out. Where did you pick it up? Can you tell me? I'll go and pick one up too. Then we'll call it Big Black Blade for now. The two appraisers looked at each other and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Low-grade primordial spirit tools should be worth around 2,000 to 5,000 divine origin stones. But some of the higher quality ones can even be auctioned for tens of thousands of divine origin stones. After all, primordial spirit tools can only be found by luck. Little brother, are you satisfied with the price? We will charge 2% of the auction fee. Jiang Chen was shocked. Although he guessed that primordial spirit tools would be very valuable, it was still beyond his expectation that they would be worth so much. The price is all right. Then I'll leave it to you. Jiang Chen nodded slightly. This is our purple gold black card. Only high-class VIPs who have spent 5,000 high-grade divine origin stones can enjoy it. The next time you auction an item, we will only charge you 1,000th of the fee. Furthermore, you can enjoy a limit of 3,000 high-grade divine origin stones in this auction. If the primordial spirit tool is not sold in the auction, we can purchase it at the starting price. The appraiser said with a smile. Not bad. Thank you very much. Jiang Chen held the purple gold black card between his fingers and turned to leave. Esteemed guests, the grand auction that is held once in 1,000 years is about to begin. Today, the Tang dynasty is filled with distinguished guests, and it is my great honor to be the host of this grand auction. I hereby announce that the 1344th Tang dynasty auction has officially begun. Along with the resounding voice of the beautiful host, which reverberated throughout the entire auction house, Countless people who had rushed over from all directions were extremely excited. After all, it was rare to see an auction that was held once in 1,000 years. This auction house has a long history. With over 1,000 auctions, it has been established in Blissful City for more than 1,000,000 years. Jiang Chen was secretly shocked. This was indeed a powerful force. To be able to stand for 1,000,000 years without falling was enough to prove everything. The strength and foundation of this force was self-evident. Next, I'll reveal the first auction item of the night, the spiritual jade pearl. This item was taken from a heavenly god realm clam. It's made from the essence of the seabed for tens of thousands of years. It can help those who cultivate water attribute cultivation skills to be like fish in water during cultivation. The starting bid is 50 high-grade divine origin stones. 70, 90, 100. Gu Maolu's face was filled with impatience as more and more items were put up for auction. The people below were all applauding and praising him endlessly, but he was still unmoved. Bai Ying, who stood by his side, was also unmoved like a mountain. Although those items were not bad, they were only limited to those who were below the Divine King realm. There were only a few items that could really attract their attention. Jiang Chen knew this and closed his eyes to rest with Bai Ying. Only Gu Maolu was staring at the auction stage in boredom. He was looking at the items that were being auctioned one after another with a disdainful smile. Did these fellas hide all their treasures? What the hell are these things? What's the use of a heavenly god tool? Damn it! Gu Maolu said angrily. A heavenly god tool is naturally useless to you. However, there are some heavenly god realm experts who are willing to risk their lives to obtain a heavenly god tool. Bai Ying said indifferently. Sigh. You're right. Don't go home disappointed tonight. This young master hasn't opened his eyes yet. Gu Maolu curled his lips. At this moment, the auctioneer had already auctioned nearly 100 items. However, none of them could move the hearts of Jiang Chen and the others. The next item is a rare herb called the Flower of Spirit. It's a heavenly treasure used to refine immortal-grade pills. Before the host finished his words, Jiang Chen's eyes suddenly opened. He looked at the auction stage with a solemn expression. The Flower of Spirit was one of the 3 main ingredients needed to refine the 9 Supreme Saint Bones pill. He had already obtained the God Emperor's bone in the Thunder Rush Sea. Now, only the Flower of Spirit and the purple fragrant konjac were left. Hearing the words Flower of Spirit, Jiang Chen's eyes were fixed on the dazzling white stamen on the stage. That's what I call a good thing. The corner of Bai Ying's lips curled up as he slowly opened his eyes. Little junior brother, you want this Flower of Spirit? Bai Ying could see Jiang Chen's solemn expression. He stared at the Flower of Spirit without blinking, as if he was afraid that the Flower of Spirit would disappear. Yes. Jiang Chen nodded. This ethereal flower won't be cheap. Although I'm not an alchemist, I've heard that this ethereal flower only grows in places where thousands of souls are wreaking havoc. Only by absorbing the ethereal souls of thousands of souls will it bear the ethereal flower. It's an excellent ingredient for refining immortal-grade pills. Bai Ying said. I'll give it my all. Jiang Chen said. Those who know about the Flower of Spirit would naturally know about it. Especially alchemists, they would be drooling over it. I hereby announce that the starting price of this Flower of Spirit is 300 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. Each increment must be no less than 20 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. As soon as the auctioneer's voice fell, everyone was shocked. Everyone gasped. Those who could take out 300 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones must be Divine King Realm experts. Moreover, they must be wealthy experts. It was extremely difficult for an ordinary Divine King Realm expert to have 302 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. Those who could take out 300 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones were definitely people with great wealth. Since Brother Jiang wants this Flower of Ethereal Spirit, I won't bid for it. Let's see if there are other things that can interest me later. My Platinum card has an overdraft limit of 1,000 Divine Origin Stones. It's a birthday gift from my father. It's not too expensive, but it should be more than enough to bid for something. Zhang Lushi said with a smile. Chapter 29-28. A Platinum VIP card worth 1,000 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones was not something that anyone could get. Many Divine King Realm experts could only look up to it. I say, you silly son of the landlord, can you stop embarrassing yourself? Bai Ying also glared fiercely at Gu Maolu. Gu Maolu smiled embarrassedly and played with the platinum VIP card in his hand with a proud look on his face. Ha ha ha, I can't help it. I'm rich. Gu Maolu's ostentatious flaunting of his wealth caused many of the men around him to be envious, jealous, and even despise him. However, there was no lack of beautiful girls looking at him. Men who were both capable and rich would naturally be liked by more women. This was the case everywhere. Every time Gu Maolu came here, he would always be able to hook up with one or two girls. Bai Ying also didn't dare to compliment this fellow's hobbies. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. He could see that Gu Maolu was really rich. 1,000 supreme-grade divine origin stones was not something that an ordinary person could afford. Even 10 divine king experts might not be able to afford it. Especially the platinum VIP card, it could only be obtained by spending 1,000 supreme-grade divine origin stones. There might not be more than 30 to 50 people in the hall who had such a platinum VIP card. Jiang Chen smiled. 300 supreme-grade divine origin stones. It was almost impossible for anyone below the divine king realm to afford it. Therefore, there were only a few people who were interested in the flower of ethereal spirit and participated in the auction. Wow, it's like a bolt from the blue. I can't afford 300 supreme-grade divine origin stones even if I sell everything I have. Yeah, it seems like we won't have a chance to compete for the real treasure. So what if I give it to you? Only an alchemist above the divine king realm can refine the flower of ethereal spirit. You can only watch helplessly if you lose to me. The flower of ethereal spirit. This guy is really going all out. Many people exclaimed secretly. However, at this moment, someone finally started to bid. 330 supreme-grade divine origin stones. 380 supreme-grade divine origin stones. 420 supreme-grade divine origin stones. 450. 580 divine origin stones. The price of the flower of the ethereal spirit continued to rise. It had even reached 580 pieces of supreme-grade divine origin stones. This was almost double the price. Many people had given up the bidding. Although the flower of the ethereal spirit was precious, it still required a lot of courage to spend nearly 600 pieces of supreme-grade divine origin stones to buy it. If one wasn't a rich alchemist, he would definitely not do so. Do you still want to compete? Bai Ying looked at Jiang Chen in surprise. He had not made a bid yet, but Bai Ying could see the certainty in his eyes. Was this guy really that rich? 600 pieces of supreme-grade divine origin stones. This was practically his entire fortune. Of course, it couldn't compare to Gu Maolu. That fellow was a genuine rich second generation. Jiang Chen nodded. Seeing that no one continued to raise the price, he said in a deep voice, 600 pieces of supreme-grade divine origin stones. The scene was in an uproar again. Jiang Chen and the others became the focus of the crowd. Jiang Chen stood proudly without any fear. Firstly, with his mid-divine king cultivation base, he was not afraid of many people. Secondly, with Bai Ying and Gu Maolu by his side, he became more confident. According to Gu Maolu, no one in the blissful city dared to cause trouble for their Tongxian mansion. It would be a waste if he didn't make use of this golden signboard. After Jiang Chen made his bid, no one else continued to bid. Because the price of the ethereal spirit flower had already reached its peak. It wasn't worth it to bid any more supreme-grade divine origin stones. Is there anyone else who can bid higher than this gentleman? 600 going once. 600 going twice. 600 going thrice. Sold. Jiang Chen was finally able to put down a large stone in his heart. Bai Ying, on the other hand, was inwardly shocked. This fellow was quite the wealthy one after all. Congratulations, junior brother. Haha, you finally got what you wanted. Alright, what do you want the ethereal spirit flower for? To refine pills? Gu Maolu asked. Yes. Jiang Chen didn't hide the fact that the ethereal spirit flower could only be used for refining pills. Therefore, there was no need for him to lie. Are you an alchemist? Bai Ying and Gu Maolu looked at him in astonishment. Yes. Is there anything wrong with it? Jiang Chen asked. Ha ha ha, we're considered old acquaintances. If I ask you to refine pills in the future, you can't refuse. Gu Maolu's spirit was lifted. He grabbed Jiang Chen's hand and said, I didn't expect junior brother to be so talented. Not only are you strong, but you're also an alchemist. Looks like you're one of the best among the new batch. Bai Ying said in admiration. I can only refine some simple pills. I can't refine complicated pills. Jiang Chen smiled. The next item is an incomplete parchment scroll. It's hard to understand and hard to find. However, the owner of this item said that it's a real treasure. It's called the Rushing Thunder Diagram. Jiang Chen's smile froze again. He didn't expect to have such a harvest this time. What a great fortune. There were 3 pieces of the Rushing Thunder Diagram and he already had 2 of them. There was only one more incomplete piece left. He didn't expect to get it at this moment. Rushing Thunder Diagram. I've been looking for you for a long time. Sure enough, there's nowhere to hide when one wears out iron shoes. The excitement in Jiang Chen's heart was beyond words. As long as he could find the Spring Thunder Diagram, he could find the source of the heavenly lightning. Once he fused with the 3rd heavenly lightning, his strength would increase tremendously. The terrifying power of fusing 3 heavenly lightnings would definitely shock everyone. The appearance of the Rushing Thunder Diagram made Jiang Chen extremely excited. He had achieved his goal this time. With the Ethereal Spirit Flower and the Rushing Thunder Diagram, he was definitely the biggest winner today. The starting price of the Rushing Thunder Diagram is 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. As soon as the host's voice faded, the whole place was bustling with activity. However, no one called out a price. Even the host felt embarrassed. 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones for a useless broken diagram. I'm afraid it's too extravagant. Yeah, who would be fooled by that? No matter what it is, since it's incomplete, it's just a piece of waste paper if we can't find the whole thing. 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones for this? I don't believe it. Many people laughed it off. 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones was not a small amount. Only Divine King Realm experts could get their hands on it. The others didn't have this kind of wealth. Compared to the Ethereal Spirit Flower, this thing was worthless. 100? Stop joking. Who would want this broken diagram? 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. Which idiot would be fooled? In my opinion, unless this guy's brain is damaged, this broken diagram will definitely not be sold. Gu Maolu said disdainfully. He looked at the host with a cold smile. This guy was embarrassed. Chapter 29-29. 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. Jiang Chen shouted. Everyone looked at Jiang Chen. This time, it was not the same as before. Like what Gu Maolu said, most of them looked at Jiang Chen as if he was an idiot. I might be the idiot that you are talking about, Jiang Chen said with a faint smile. Mister, you really have a discerning eye. 100 going once. 100 going twice. 100 going thrice. Deal. The host hurriedly said. This lousy map could also be conned out for 100 pieces of supreme grade Shen Yuan stone. There were indeed all kinds of fools in the world. Bai Ying looked at Jiang Chen with a doubtful expression. This guy is calm and steady. He doesn't look like he's going to bid recklessly. 100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones is not a small amount. Little junior brother. Don't blame me. I am just kidding. Hehe. Gu Maolu was very fond of Jiang Chen. After all, Jiang Chen was an alchemist. He could not afford to offend an alchemist. When he entered the Tongxian mansion in the future, he could imagine the power of an alchemist. I know. It's okay. Idiot likes this. Ha! Jiang Chen and Gu Maolu looked at each other and smiled. The next item to be auctioned was Jiang Chen's big black blade. The blade did not disappoint as it was sold at a price of 3,250 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. It was bought by a mysterious person. Gu Maolu wanted to buy it too, but he did not have enough money. Plus, he did not expect to spend 3,000 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones to buy an Origin Divine tool as he already had some Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones with him. He did not need to spend all his savings just to compete for this item. The next item is the highlight of this auction. Ladies and gentlemen, please open your eyes and take a good look. This is a peak immortal grade elixir, Spirit Establishing Elixir, and the recipe of the Spirit Establishing Elixir. The Spirit Establishing Pill is a pill that stabilizes one's soul and can increase the strength of one's soul. It's extremely effective for nourishing one's soul, especially when the peak immortal grade medicinal pill is sold together with the immortal grade medicinal pill formula. This kind of temptation is hard to resist. It's really worth it. Countless people raised their heads in anticipation. Even Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes as he silently watched the scene. It was a peak immortal grade elixir. I'm rich, I'm rich. This is exactly what I want. Ha ha ha. Gu Maolu's eyes lit up. This was the only treasure he had his eyes on tonight. Establishing Soul Pill. Jiang Chen took a deep breath. This building soul pill was exactly what he needed right now. If he could obtain a soul-establishing pill in the future, he wouldn't have to worry about his soul strength being constantly damaged. At least, he would be able to relax a lot. Although it's good, it's not something I can compete for. Bai Ying shook his head with a smile. The spirit-establishing pill and the spirit-establishing elixir were sold together on purpose. The auctioneer wanted to drive the price up. Although the peak immortal grade medicinal pill was good, its price should be beyond the reach of many people. I hereby announce that the starting price for the spirit-establishing pill and the spirit-establishing elixir is 3,000 supreme grade divine origin stones. The entire auction house became silent. 3,000 supreme grade divine origin stones was indeed a good item to be auctioned at the end of the auction. The price was almost suffocating. However, those who were in the know knew that the price was definitely worth it. As for those who didn't know what was going on, they would only be shocked, sigh, and feel fear, feeling that they were too far behind. Because there were many things that they might not be able to come into contact with in their entire lives. At the very least, the current 3,000 top-grade Shin Yuan stones was an astronomical figure that 99% of the people couldn't reach. Little junior brother, do you want this item too? Maybe I can't give it to you this time. Gu Maolu said seriously. I need it too. I want to compete for it too. After all, I have a card too. Jiang Chen said with a smile as he took out the purple gold black card given to him by the appraiser. Even Bai Ying was stunned. The crowd was in an uproar. Gu Maolu's platinum VIP card had attracted many people's attention. Jiang Chen's purple gold black card was even better than Gu Maolu's. Gu Maolu's mouth twitched slightly. His eyes were filled with indescribable shock. He said in a low voice, "Fuck. Little junior brother. Are you the illegitimate son of Boss Lei? You're more fucking awesome than me. My father only has one purple gold black card. He wouldn't give it to me no matter how much I asked for it. He was showing off his platinum VIP card just now. Now, he had completely lost his temper in front of Jiang Chen's purple gold black card. But we still have to compete for the good stuff. Ha! Why don't we work together? You want the egg, I want the chicken. Jiang Chen said with a smile. What do you mean? Gu Maolu was stunned. He did not understand what Jiang Chen was talking about. It means you want the elixir. Jiang Chen wants the recipe. The elixir is the egg, but the recipe is the chicken that lays the egg. Jiang Chen is an alchemist. The elixir is not that attractive to him. What really attracts him is the recipe. Bai Ying said in a low voice. Gu Maolu's eyes lit up. All right, little junior brother, you're really smart. Ha ha ha, I'll listen to you. I want the elixir, you want the recipe. Let's get this treasure. All right, Jiang Chen said in a low voice as he looked at the recipe of the soul-constructing elixir. 3,000 supreme grade divine origin stones was just the starting price. It would be a bloody battle in the end. It was not a bad thing to join forces with Gu Maolu. After all, what he wanted was the chicken that laid the egg. He did not care about the price of the elixir. As long as he could get the recipe of the soul-constructing elixir, that was what he wanted. Then it's a deal. I'll pay 1/3 of the price. What do you think, Brother Jiang? Gu Maolu said seriously. At this moment, he was not as frivolous as before. He looked very nervous. All right, then I won't be unreasonable. I, Jiang Chen, will accept this favor. Jiang Chen knew that Gu Maolu had done his best. He had lost an opponent and still managed to get the recipe of the soul-constructing elixir at half of the original price. No matter how he looked at it, Jiang Chen was the best. Of course, the prerequisite was that they could get the recipe and the spirit-constructing elixir. Many of the people present stopped in their tracks. 3,000 high-grade divine origin stones. Even some of the large sects would have to suffer a huge loss if they wanted to take it out. In the entire auction house, it was likely that there were less than 10 people who could participate in this auction. But the more it was so, the more intense the auction would be. Those who really wanted it would do anything to get it. It's destined to be a battle between tycoons. Chapter 29:30. 3,100 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. 3,200 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. 3,400. 3,600. 3,700. A total of 6 people began to compete for the spirit-establishing pill and the pill formula. The entire venue became silent. Only the voices of a few people competing resounded. Not only the audience, but even the host had become serious. It was just like the previous auction of the Origin Divine Tool. However, the starting price of the spirit-establishing pill and the pill formula was 1,000 pieces of Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones higher than the Origin Divine Tool. Moreover, looking at the current situation of the competition, it was estimated that it would be auctioned off at a shocking price. There were still people who were willing to increase the starting price of 3,000 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. This showed that the value of the spirit-establishing pill was definitely worth it. Moreover, there were many people competing for it. However, when the price increased to 4,000 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones, there were 3 people who withdrew from the competition. Quite a number of people were alarmed when they saw this. This was an auction that was hovering on the edge of a knife. Each increase in price was at least 1 to 200 pieces of top-grade Divine Origin Stones. The degree of shock was self-evident. This is too exciting. There are too many rich tycoons. 4,000 Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones. I'm afraid that even some of the big sects around the Fengyin County might not be able to afford it. Even if they were to take out so many Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones, it would definitely hurt them. That's right. I'm just watching the show and I feel my blood boiling. Ha! This is an auction that only happens once in 1,000 years. How could there not be a main event? This guy really knows how to do business. Every increase in price was able to stir the hearts of everyone present. Their emotions were overflowing with words. There are still 3 people left, Jiang Chen said. These 3 people were obviously more interested in the spirit-establishing pill. The other 3 had already shook their heads, indicating that it was not worth it or they did not have the strength to continue competing. They could only choose to give up. 4,200. 4,300. 4,500. When a young man in white shouted out 4,500 top-grade Divine Origin Stones, the other 2 people also sighed and shook their heads in anger. 4,500 Divine Origin Stones was already quite high. This kind of top-grade treasure was not like those low-grade items where 100% premium was a common thing. Now that the Building Soul Pill and the pill formula had a 50% premium, it was already quite shocking. 4,500 top-grade Divine Origin Stones. Is there anything higher? The host said in a deep voice, extremely solemn. He held his breath in concentration, not daring to show the slightest bit of negligence. 4,500 Supreme Grade Shin Yuan Stones going once. $4,500. 4,700. Jiang Chen once again stood up and bid for 2 treasures. His bid made the audience even more curious. Just who was this person? Bid for an empty spirit flower, then spent 100 pieces of Supreme Grade Divine Origin Stones to bid for a lousy map. Now, even this final treasure also came to interfere. Everyone's eyes naturally focused on his head. Friend, do you really want to compete with me? Jiang Chen looked at the white-clothed young man because the white-clothed young man had sent him a message through divine sense. His tone was cold and provocative. Jiang Chen smiled faintly and did not bother with him. 4,800. The young man in white sneered. His eyes were filled with coldness as he stared at Jiang Chen. 5,000. Jiang Chen did not say anything, but his domineering bid made the audience scream. Countless women looked at him with admiration, while men looked at him with envy. At this moment, Jiang Chen could be said to be the center of attention. However, Jiang Chen thought that it would not be good for him to be in the limelight at this moment. Gu Maolu was eager to be in the limelight. Jiang Chen naturally knew what he was thinking. He liked to be in the limelight more. Good fella, how dare you go against me? I will definitely make you pay the price. The young man in white said in a deep voice and sent a message to Jiang Chen again. You need to think carefully, and you need to know who you are offending. Jiang Chen did not care about the young man in white's threat at all. He shrugged and remained silent. I don't care who you are. I am not going to play with you. I will let you compete with Gu Maolu. I will leave it to you, senior brother Gu. You will increase the price next. Jiang Chen looked at Gu Maolu and said, All right, I will increase the price, ha ha ha. Gu Maolu was so happy that he could not close his mouth. He liked to be in the limelight, 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 and countless women could not wait to be at his feet. Country bumpkin. You are really a country bumpkin. Bai Ying curled his lips and said. This fellow was like a country bumpkin, but he was rich and capricious. 5,100. The young man in white was silent for a moment as he increased the price. He was already unable to hold on any longer, because this was almost his limit. So little? 5,500. If you want to play, make it more exciting. Don't be so stingy, you are worse than me. Gu Maolu increased the price by 400 supreme grade divine origin stones. The crowd was in an uproar. Even Jiang Chen was slightly shocked. This fella is too fucking shameless. This was not increasing the price. He was squandering it. The young man in white was slightly speechless. Gu Maolu did not play by the rules. He increased the price by 400 supreme grade divine origin stones at once. How could he let others live? It's him. The young man in white was gloomy. But he did not continue to increase the price because he recognized Gu Maolu. This fella was also here today. He could only blame himself for messing up his plan. His father was one of the 10 richest men in Blissful City. He was rich and had countless assets. He could not afford to compete with him. Mighty! 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 The cheers made Gu Maolu feel like he was floating in the air. He liked to be in the limelight. He liked to be in the limelight. Is there a higher price? 5,500 supreme grade divine origin stones going once. Going twice. 5,500 going thrice. Deal. As soon as the auctioneer finished his words, the crowd was shocked and cheered. But Gu Maolu was helpless and unhappy. Why did this fella stop increasing the price? I am not satisfied yet. Sigh. Gu Maolu's words almost made Bai Ying vomit blood. This fella is really rich. Are you guys from the Tongxian mansion? Let's see if you have what it takes to compete with me. The young man in white snorted. The flower of spirit that he wanted was taken away by Jiang Chen. He wanted to win the last round, but he did not expect to lose everything. But the flower of spirit, the soul-fortifying elixir and the elixir formula were all coveted by him. Chapter 29:31. I don't have that many supreme grade divine origin stones on me. How about I give this to you? Jiang Chen took out the Thunder Tyrant hammer from his hand. Instantly, Bai Ying and Gu Maolu's eyes were fixed on the Thunder Tyrant hammer in Jiang Chen's hand. Bai Ying's expression changed. This fellow was too mysterious. Although the Thunder Tyrant hammer wasn't a true middle-grade origin divine tool, it was still one of the best among the lower-grade origin divine tools. It was definitely several times stronger than the big black blade. Even if it was auctioned, it wouldn't be worth 5,000 or 6,000 supreme grade divine origin stones. Bai Ying and Gu Maolu were knowledgeable people. They could tell the value of the Thunder Tyrant hammer with one look. I like this thing. Gu Maolu's eyes lit up. He was pleasantly surprised and took a fancy to the Thunder Tyrant hammer. His biggest gain today wasn't the soul-building pill, but this terrifying hammer. The value of this origin divine tool is definitely not lower than 5,000 or 6,000 supreme grade divine origin stones. If I auction it, it might be even higher. Gu Maolu said in a deep voice. He raised his eyes to look at Jiang Chen, feeling a little embarrassed. You really intend to give this origin divine tool to me? Jiang Chen nodded with a calm smile. I don't have any divine origin stones on me. I'll use this to pay you back. Gu Maolu shook his head and said with a serious expression. Gu Maolu, never suffer losses. However, I don't like to take advantage of others either. I don't want this soul-building pill. I won't be unreasonable either. I'm already taking advantage of you by giving me this hammer. Gu Maolu's words made Jiang Chen look at him in a different light. Although Gu Maolu was playful and didn't take things seriously, he was a man of principle. All right, I won't decline it. Thank you. Jiang Chen cupped his fists. There was nothing wrong with giving a plum in return. I should be the one thanking you. I didn't expect you to be so generous. In the past, I couldn't find anyone more wealthy than me. Now, I've finally found someone who understands me. You fella. Jiang Chen shook his head with a smile. Right, what's the name of this hammer? Thunder Tyrant hammer. Good name, I like it. How domineering. Bai Ying also gave Jiang Chen a thumbs up. However, after thinking about it, Bai Ying felt relieved. After all, Jiang Chen was quite strong and he was also an alchemist. It was not an exaggeration to say that alchemists were very rich. How many of those who could enter Tongxian Mansion were easy to deal with? The three of them did not stay in the blissful city for long. After resting for 3 days, they left the blissful city and headed straight for the Tongxian Mansion. The Tongxian Mansion was 200,000 li away from the blissful city. Even if they did not rest, it would still take them 10 days to half a month to reach there. Without the barren mountains and swamps, their speed would naturally be faster. However, this region was extremely chaotic. Even the people of Tongxian Mansion had to be careful. However, Bai Ying and the others were not worried since they were at the peak Divine King realm. After all, those who dared to cause trouble with a peak Divine King realm expert was courting death. Outside the blissful city, there were many heavenly gods and early divine kings. The three of them traveled smoothly. However, along the way, they were spotted by someone. 3 figures appeared in the sky and blocked the path of Jiang Chen and the others. "It's you." Jiang Chen frowned and looked at the white-clothed young man. 2 black-clothed experts stood beside the young man. Their strength was not to be underestimated. They were both at the peak Divine King realm. Although the region between Tongxian Mansion and the blissful city is ungoverned, you're the first person who dares to block our Tongxian Mansion's path. Bai Ying looked at the white-clothed young man. Lung Ling said, "Don't use the Tongxian Mansion to scare me. I, Han Xiaoqian, am not one to be scared." The white-robed youth smiled calmly. His smile was also very calm. "Han Xiaoqian, by Isu Jin. You're the young sect master of the 10 Lihuan sect." Bai Ying squinted his eyes. Even Gu Maolu's expression did not change. "Looks like this fella has a great background." "You have a good eye. The people of Tongxian Mansion are indeed not ordinary." Hehe. Han Xiaoqian stared at Jiang Chen and the others with a sharp gaze. Although the Lihuan sect is strong, aren't they a little too arrogant to go against the Tongxian Mansion? "Young sect master, if you insist on making things difficult for us, I'm afraid you won't be able to explain yourself to the sect master of the Lihuan sect," Bai Ying said solemnly. The white-clothed Han Xiaoqian was a monstrous genius of the Lihuan sect. Many years ago, he was rejected to enter the Tongxian Mansion. He was an existence that was as famous as the 3 dragon heads of the outer mansion of Tongxian Mansion. He was also a famous existence in the blissful city. "I don't need you to teach me this. According to what I know, he doesn't seem to be a disciple of the Tongxian Mansion," Han Xiaoqian said indifferently. Bai Ying and Gu Maolu's expressions changed. "This fella is really resourceful. He actually found out about us so quickly. Even if he's not a disciple now, he has already obtained the quota of a new disciple of the Tongxian Mansion." Gu Maolu said, "So you're saying that he's not a disciple of the Tongxian Mansion? Even if I kill him, the Tongxian Mansion won't be able to pin it on me, right?" Han Xiaoqian's words caused Bai Ying's expression to turn extremely solemn. This fella obviously came prepared. "You want the formula of the soul-building pill in my hands," Jiang Chen said with a smile. "Very smart. Of course, there's also the ethereal flower," Han Xiaoqian said. "If you leave it behind, I can pretend that nothing has happened. After all, I don't want to offend the Tongxian Mansion. After all, these 2 are disciples of the Tongxian Mansion. I have to give them some face. Of course, if you insist on not giving it to them, you might have to suffer a little. Your thoughts are very childish, even whimsical." Jiang Chen shook his head with a smile. "It seems like you still haven't realized the situation you're in. Do you think they can protect you?" "Ha ha," Han Xiaoqian said with a laugh. "Han Xiaoqian, the Tongxian Mansion isn't a place to be bullied. If you want to touch him, you'll have to get through me first." Bai Ying and Gu Maolu stepped forward fearlessly. "I won't kill the 2 of you. I've already given the Tongxian Mansion enough face. It's a pity that this fella is still stubborn. Who else can he blame?" Han Xiaoqian shrugged. His youthful spirit was overbearing. "Now I'll show you who's childish." Han Xiaoqian's eyes turned cold. The 2 peak Divine King realm experts behind him unleashed their auras too, completely suppressing Jiang Chen and the others. "Stop the 2 of them. Leave this reckless guy to me." "Yes, young master," the 2 peak Divine King realm experts said in a low voice. In the blink of an eye, they charged at Bai Ying and Gu Maolu. Chapter 29-32. Be careful, Bai Ying said in a deep voice. However, the two peaked divine kings arrived in an instant. Their terrifying aura swept across the area. Although Gu Maolu was startled, he did not panic. Although his strength was not on par with them, he was still a genius disciple of the profound connection divine palace. He did not show any fear when encountering stronger opponents. He and Bai Ying attacked the two peaked divine kings at the same time. Jiang Chen, run! Gu Maolu shouted loudly. The two peak stage divine kings attacked with their life and death killing moves, showing no mercy. You want to run? I'm afraid you won't have the chance. Han Xiaoqian sneered. His strength had also reached the peak divine king realm. This was the first time Jiang Chen encountered so many divine kings since he entered Fengyun County. Moreover, Han Xiaoqian came prepared. His strength was unparalleled as he charged towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's strength was only at the mid-divine king realm. In Han Xiaoqian's opinion, Jiang Chen had already used up all of his strength to receive one of his attacks. Get lost! Han Xiaoqian roared. Qi waves rolled out and covered the sky. Jiang Chen's body was surrounded by a terrifying aura. Jiang Chen felt as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Han Xiaoqian's strength was extraordinary, much stronger than Bai Ying. Although both of them were at the peak divine king realm, Jiang Chen could still feel the gap between them. I can't underestimate my opponent, Jiang Chen thought. He retreated in order to advance. He instantly unleashed his dragon transformation. It's actually a half-human half-dragon body. Interesting. After Jiang Chen unleashed his dragon transformation, even Bai Ying and Gu Maolu were slightly shocked. This fella is quite capable. Under the dragon transformation, his strength rose once again. Jiang Chen forcefully received Han Xiaoqian's attack and retreated. His entire body trembled violently. This fella's casual attack was so powerful. Although Jiang Chen was prepared, Han Xiaoqian's strength was also extremely terrifying. Han Xiaoqian's eyes flickered when he realized that he had failed to defeat Jiang Chen in one move. His smile grew even wider. You're the first to receive an attack from me. Not bad, to be able to do that with your battle prowess as a mid-divine king. Unfortunately, you are far too weak. Even if you possess a portion of the dragon tribe's bloodline, it is impossible for you to completely transform into a true dragon. A true dragon might not be invincible. Jiang Chen sneered in his heart, but he disdained to confront Han Xiaoqian. Run, Jiang Chen. You're no match for him. Run as far as you can. Bai Ying said in a deep voice. The two of them were entangled by the two peak divine kings. Although he could suppress them, Gu Maolu also needed help on the other side. He was completely restricted and could not turn the situation around. Jiang Chen was entangled by Han Xiaoqian. He would definitely die. Accept your death. This is the price you have to pay for your stubbornness. Those who submit to me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. Those who oppose me will never have a good ending. Remember my name, Han Xiaoqian of the Lihuan sect. Han Xiaoqian charged forward again. Jiang Chen roared furiously. Under the dragon transformation, his body became extremely tough. He clashed with Han Xiaoqian for more than 10 rounds. Although he was forced back, he was not completely suppressed. Jiang Chen took 3 of Han Xiaoqian's attacks head-on. You're just putting up a desperate struggle. Soul extermination of 1,000 valleys. Jiang Chen could feel Han Xiaoqian's terrifying soul attack. The surrounding space was completely sealed. Jiang Chen's soul had not recovered yet. This time, his soul was injured again by Han Xiaoqian's soul extermination of 1,000 valleys. Jiang Chen spurted out a mouthful of blood. His expression was gloomy as he turned around and tried to leave. Han Xiaoqian's figure flickered and moved at an extremely fast speed. After images followed Jiang Chen like shadows. Damned fellow. Jiang Chen might really be done for, Sai. Bai Ying sighed. However, there was nothing he could do to help. After he was restricted, Han Xiaoqian was simply bullying Jiang Chen. If this continued, Jiang Chen would definitely die. Damn it, I'll kill you. Gu Maolu was incomparably furious. Although he had only known Jiang Chen for a short period of time, their temperaments were extremely compatible. This junior brother of his was also someone with a good temperament. Now that Jiang Chen was being suppressed by Han Xiaoqian, there was nothing they could do. Gu Maolu's heart was filled with anger and self-blame. Unfortunately, You won't be able to save him. Han Xiaoqian used soul extermination of 1,000 valleys again. Jiang Chen suffered 2 heavy injuries in a row. His injuries continued to worsen. The injuries to his soul were already extremely difficult for Jiang Chen. Bai Ying and Gu Maolu were extremely anxious when they saw Jiang Chen being forced back by Han Xiaoqian. Soul extermination 3 consecutive strikes. Han Xiaoqian's eyes glowed brilliantly. 3 sharp soul blades that resembled blue enchantresses shot out from his eyes. Jiang Chen's eyes flickered as he staggered backward. Even with his draconified body, he was still unable to withstand the soul extermination 3 consecutive strikes. His arm was dripping with blood. It was nearly severed. Bai Ying and Gu Maolu were extremely furious when they saw his miserable state. You've got quite a backbone. Prepare to die. Han Xiaoqian closed in. Jiang Chen's figure flickered 9 times. Using the Azure Dragon's 5 steps, he soared into the sky and escaped. If you can escape from my grasp, I, Han Xiaoqian, will no longer be able to show my face in the blissful city. Han Xiaoqian chased after him. The 2 of them instantly disappeared in the void. Jiang Chen executed the Great Void technique to the maximum and managed to shake off Han Xiaoqian. At this moment, his strength had already recovered a lot. However, the injuries to his soul couldn't be healed in a short period of time. Jiang Chen swallowed a soul-building pill as he ran. A peak immortal-grade soul-building pill had instantly restored 50 to 60% of Jiang Chen's soul force. However, it was still an Emperor Realm soul after all. Its majestic soul force was something that even Jiang Chen couldn't imagine. Otherwise, how could he chase away a 6-tailed spiritual fox in the Hierarch realm? However, it was better than nothing. The soul-building pill was indeed a peak immortal-grade pill. Even the current Jiang Chen might not be able to concoct it. Jiang Chen absorbed the peak immortal-grade pill's medicinal effect at the fastest speed. After all, his myriad chi body was able to restore his body's strength, making him invincible. Jiang Chen had been running for 3 days and 3 nights. His strength had recovered by more than half. His damaged soul force had also recovered by more than 70%. However, the medicinal effect of the soul-building pill still remained. Jiang Chen was incomparably shocked. The recovery speed of the soul-building pill was simply terrifying. However, because of this, he wouldn't need to worry so much when he concocted the soul-building pill in the future. After all, even Jiang Chen wasn't willing to face the exhaustion of his soul force. Damn fella. His strength isn't that great, but his escaping technique is actually so terrifying. Han Xiaoqian was infuriated by Jiang Chen. He initially thought that he could kill Jiang Chen in a blink of an eye. He didn't expect that Jiang Chen would be able to shake him off after 3 days and 3 nights. Chapter 29:33. Why aren't you running anymore? You can't run anymore, right? Brat, I've made up my mind. I won't kill you. I'll torture you until you die so that I can vent my anger. Han Xiaoqian glared at Jiang Chen fiercely. Even he had been tricked by Jiang Chen. He even thought of giving up in the past 3 days. Because Jiang Chen was as slippery as a loach. It was too hard to catch him. But on second thought, it would be too shameful if he were to return empty-handed. Therefore, Han Xiaoqian gritted his teeth and chased him to the ends of the earth. Han Xiaoqian did not dare to slack off in the past 3 days. Jiang Chen's strength was mediocre. But when he ran, he was even faster than some peak divine kings. Jiang Chen had stopped running. Han Xiaoqian wanted it. In his eyes, Jiang Chen should not be able to run anymore. Otherwise he would not give up so easily. But it's reasonable. Where can a mere mid-divine king run to? Yeah, I'm not running anymore. Let's have a good fight. If I win, I'll just leave. If I lose, I'll just die. It's so simple. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Han Xiaoqian felt that something was amiss. He looked at Jiang Chen with a gloomy expression. However, Jiang Chen was so weak. Even if there were 10 more of them, they wouldn't be a match for him. Why should he be afraid of him? You want to become the master of this place with just you? Even if you're a half-step divine king, I'm not afraid. Back then, Tongxian Mansion wanted me to cultivate. I didn't even bother to go. You want to fight me? The 3 dragon heads of the outer mansion might not dare to disrespect me. Before you joined Tongxian Mansion, I could kill you easily. Even those 2 fellas can't do anything about it. Han Xiaoqian said proudly. You're conceited. But you're also stupid. You shouldn't have chased me. Jiang Chen's smile became even more playful. He stretched out his hand and gently wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth. In terms of confidence, he was superior to Han Xiaoqian. Do you think I'm scared? Han Xiaoqian sneered. Come. Fire Qilin. Let's end this quickly. I don't want to be entangled by this fellow for too long. Jiang Chen faintly said. The fire Qilin tore through the sky and shot out from the Zulong Tower. Its fiery figure appeared above Han Xiaoqian's head. At this moment, Han Xiaoqian felt as if he was facing a great enemy. A peak god king fire Qilin? Han Xiaoqian sucked in a cold breath of air. Even he might not be able to fight against such a divine beast. Although he was extremely confident in himself, the dignity of a divine beast couldn't be violated. Divine beasts of the same level were practically invincible. The title of divine beast wasn't groundless. Is that what you're relying on? Han Xiaoqian squinted his eyes and stared at Jiang Chen. Most of his attention was focused on the fire Qilin. In his opinion, Jiang Chen was easy to deal with, but the fire Qilin wasn't easy to deal with. What else do you think? Jiang Chen's body shuddered. He executed the dragon transformation once again. His powerful dragon-human body approached Han Xiaoqian. Even with the help of the fire Qilin, you still won't be able to defeat me. Han Xiaoqian was extremely confident. As the young sect leader of the Lihuan sect, if he had outstanding talent, why would he reject the invitation of the Tongxian mansion? 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen used all his killing moves as soon as he made his move. The 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal was executed forcefully. However, it was still a lot weaker than the 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal after executing the ancient Soaring Dragon technique. Even so, Han Xiaoqian didn't dare to be careless. As he retreated, he focused his attention on the fire Qilin. Roar. The fire Qilin let out a furious roar. Flames spewed out and spread across the sky. Han Xiaoqian's expression turned solemn. The fire Qilin charged forward with an overwhelming aura. He didn't dare to face it head-on. The attacks from Jiang Chen and the fire Qilin made Han Xiaoqian's expression turn extremely grave. He switched from offense to defense. In an instant, the fire Qilin's ferocity was fully displayed. Han Xiaoqian also suffered greatly as he was completely suppressed by Jiang Chen. Damn you! If it weren't for the fire Qilin, I would have killed you hundreds or thousands of times. Han Xiaoqian was extremely furious. However, under the suppression of the fire Qilin, Jiang Chen advanced cautiously and gained the upper hand. Although he wasn't able to defeat Jiang Chen, his attacks weren't to be underestimated either. The 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal had made him feel a little apprehensive. I'll let you have a taste of my 3000 Burning Sky Seal. You're the first person to have a taste of the 3000 Burning Sky Seal. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. It was the upgraded version of the 3000 Flames Dragon Seal. After the transformation of the 5 Elemental True Fire and the fusion of the 5 Elemental Divine Fire, the 3000 Flames Dragon Seal had undergone a tremendous change. The flames could devour the heavens and crush the surroundings. The seal was more than 100 times stronger than before. Soul extinguishing 3 consecutive strikes. The 3000 Burning Sky Seal formed by the fusion of the 5 Elemental Divine Fire was even more powerful than the 5 Elemental Divine Dragon Seal. 3000 blazing flames burned the sky. The seal rotated 9 times and imprinted the heavens. Before Han Xiaoqian could even launch an attack, the 3000 Burning Sky Seal swept through the sky and pressed towards him. Han Xiaoqian's countenance changed drastically and he quickly retreated. However, the 3000 Burning Sky Seal had already landed on him. The soul-extinguishing triple strike was instantly destroyed. The 3000 Burning Sky Seal burned the void and the fire Qilin's flames swept across the void. Han Xiaoqian was forced to retreat step by step. The 3000 Burning Sky Seal landed on his chest, burning his clothes and leaving a bloody mark on his body. Han Xiaoqian's face became extremely pale. Jiang Chen was just a mid-divine king, but he was injured. You're courting death. You forced me to do this. Han Xiaoqian's expression was ferocious. He pointed at Jiang Chen and clenched his fists. 16 blood-red flags danced in the sky. Jiang Chen's pupils constricted. Divine Burying Flag. Ha ha ha, you're pretty knowledgeable. You can actually recognize the Divine Burying Flag. Today, I'll show you my Divine Burying Soul Locking Formation. I'll use you as a sacrifice to my divine burying flag. I'll use the fresh blood of the fire Qilin to remember the humiliation I've suffered today. Han Shaoqian looked at the sky with disdain. The 16 divine burying flags fluttered in the wind, causing everyone's heart to tremble. A chilly wind howled and a soul-devouring sound reverberated in the sky. The 16 divine burying flags were all origin divine weapons. It wasn't something that an ordinary person could afford. If it wasn't the young sect master of the Lihuan sect, even Han Shaoqian wouldn't be able to afford it. I'm so scared. 16 divine burying flags. How domineering. Unfortunately, I have one more than you. Jiang Chen sneered. With a flash of his hand, the 17 divine burying flags landed right behind Jiang Chen. Not one more, not one less. Impossible. Chapter 29-34. In order to collect these 16 divine burying flags, his father had traveled across the entire northern cold divine region to collect all 16 divine burying flags as his natal divine weapon. Not long ago, he had begged his father to give him 16 divine burying flags. The power of 16 divine burying flags was enough for him to kill a half-step ultimate god. However, he was just a divine king. How could he have so many divine burying flags? Although he was unwilling, Han Shaoqian became extremely greedy. His eyes flickered with greed and coldness. He wanted to take all 17 divine burying flags from Jiang Chen. Then his strength would multiply. The 3 dragon heads of the outer mansion would no longer be a threat to him. Treasures delivered to my doorstep. Looks like it's God's arrangement. Han Shaoqian activated the 16 divine burying flags. A gust of wind blew and a hurricane swept across. Thousands of souls wreaked havoc. The divine burying soul-locking formation was formed, locking Jiang Chen and the fire Qilin. Jiang Chen was not afraid at all as he controlled the 17 divine burying flags to stir up the void. It was easy for the 16 divine burying flags to fall into the formation. In Jiang Chen's eyes, this formation couldn't be more simple. Most importantly, the 16 divine burying flags that were origin divine tools played a crucial role. Thousands of souls were wreaking havoc and evil ghosts were everywhere. Jiang Chen was surrounded by wailing evil ghosts. Each of the divine burying flags released tens of thousands of evil ghosts. This fella has done a lot of evil ghosts. No matter how you attack, I will not budge. Jiang Chen was as steady as a mountain. The 17 divine burying flags helped him disperse the evil ghosts. However, the evil ghosts roared and even the fire Qilin was greatly agitated. He kept roaring and retreating. 12 fire god guards. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. The 12 fire god guards immediately surrounded Han Shaoqian. Han Shaoqian's expression changed once again. 12 peak mid-divine king puppets were not something that anyone could control. Not only did it require a great amount of spiritual energy, the puppets were even more terrifying than mid-divine kings. The 12 fire god guards attacked fiercely while the fire Qilin charged forward. The battle of life and death happened again. Buddha light illumination. Jiang Chen struck out with his palm. Divine light appeared again. Although he managed to force Han Shaoqian back, his opponent was too strong. Furthermore, he had 16 divine burying flags. Therefore, Jiang Chen was unable to heavily injure Han Shaoqian. Although he was a peak divine king, Jiang Chen did not have such courage when he killed Chu Tianzhou, a half-step ultimate god. Facing the counterattack of the 17 divine burying flags, in addition to the pressure from the 12 fire god guards and the fire Qilin, Han Shaoqian was forced to retreat step by step. His face turned ashen. In the end, he was unable to resist Jiang Chen. However, the killing intent in his eyes remained. Han Shaoqian's strength could not be said to be weak. However, Jiang Chen's attack made it difficult for him to reverse the situations. Prepare to die. Your 16 divine burying flags are mine. Jiang Chen smiled. Ha ha ha, what a joke. You're not qualified to take my divine burying flags. However, you should be proud that you forced me to use the soul-stealing divine technique. Han Shaoqian's lips curled into a murderous smile. At this moment, he was no longer in the mood to continue playing with Jiang Chen. It was more important for him to finish the battle quickly and obtain the ethereal flower and the soul-building elixir. Soul-stealing technique. Han Shaoqian used his strongest attack, which was also the strongest technique of the Lihuan sect. The reason why the Lihuan sect was able to stand tall around the blissful city and the Tongxian mansion for millions of years was because of his father's soul-stealing divine technique. Jiang Chen's expression was solemn as he defended his divine soul. At this moment, he felt that the entire void seemed to have become dimmer. The fire Qilin was forced to retreat after being severely injured. The 12 fire god guards were unscathed because they did not have a soul. The surrounding heavens and earth suddenly became dim. All living beings within 1,000 li were annihilated at this moment. Their souls were annihilated, never to be reincarnated. However, Jiang Chen's soul was an Emperor Realm soul. Even though he had only recovered less than 70% of it, it was still an Emperor Realm soul. Although Han Shaoqian's soul-stealing technique was terrifying and could even kill a half-step Hierarch Realm expert, his soul force was also extraordinary. It had reached the peak of the half-step Hierarch Realm and was only a step away from reaching the Hierarch Realm. Unfortunately, he had never thought that Jiang Chen possessed an Emperor Realm soul. God's plans were always better than his own. At that moment, the backlash from the Emperor Realm soul was enough to kill Han Shaoqian's soul. "Piss off!" Jiang Chen shouted. Han Shaoqian's face instantly turned pale. His mind went blank and his divine soul became dispirited. His soul energy was almost wiped out in an instant. Jiang Chen's roar was heard by Han Shaoqian. Plop! Han Shaoqian knelt on the ground. His eyes were unfocused and lifeless. His aura was near the end of his life. He looked at Jiang Chen, who was standing proudly with fear and disbelief in his eyes. How could this be? How could this be? When one's divine soul was strong to a certain extent, there was no longer any taboo. However, Han Shaoqian's divine soul, which was far beyond an ordinary expert, was easily killed by Jiang Chen. It wasn't even Jiang Chen's doing. It was just an involuntary reaction from Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's soul resisted for a moment, causing Han Shaoqian's divine soul to suffer a fatal injury. An Emperor Realm soul was not to be violated. Jiang Chen's soul force was not damaged, but Han Shaoqian had shot himself in the foot. Not to mention a peak divine king like him, even a Hierarch Realm expert would not fare any better from the backlash of an Emperor Realm soul. "Is this what you're relying on?" Jiang Chen snorted disdainfully, giving him a taste of his own medicine. Although the Sovereign Realm soul might not be of much use to him now, the formless might it gave him was already very beneficial to him. Jiang Chen did not show any mercy as he looked at Han Shaoqian's dying body and soul. The strong preyed on the weak. This was the law of survival. Han Shaoqian had wanted to kill Jiang Chen, but he still died a violent death in the end. This was true karma. Jiang Chen was also very excited. He had obtained the 16 divine burying flags, which were all origin divine weapons. Now that he had 33 flags, Jiang Chen could finally set up the divine burying formation. "I'm not willing Han Shaoqian fell to the ground. His soul was destroyed. At this moment, his life had come to an end. Withered Soul Mountain. Lihuan sect. A skinny old man with a head full of white hair and a hunched back stood at the top of the mountain. His roar was like thunder, shattering the sky. His sorrowful roar seemed to be able to penetrate one's soul. Han Wanshan roared in rage. More than a dozen mountains of bones around him crumbled and collapsed. Mountains collapsed and rivers flowed in reverse. The disciples of the Lihuan sect had all returned. The entire Lihuan sect was filled with an unconcealable sorrow and coldness. Chapter 29-35. Han Shaoqian's death was a joyous occasion for Jiang Chen. 16 divine burying flags were terrifying. All of them were primordial divine tools. Jiang Chen already had 17 flags. Now that they were combined, it would be even more terrifying. The young master of the Lihuan sect should have a lot of treasures on him. Jiang Chen smiled. He took Han Shaoqian's interspatial ring and erased his soul imprint. Jiang Chen's expression changed. This young master of the Lihuan sect is really rich. 4 primordial divine tools, 5,000 supreme grade divine origin stones and so many soul-nourishing pills. TSK TSK TSK. Jiang Chen couldn't help but exclaim. As expected of the young master of the Lihuan sect, his wealth was so great that no one dared to look down on him. 3 soul saint Ganoderma, life grain grass, soul eroding bone flower, these are all herbs for the soul building pill. Looks like this fella has already prepared for this. He must have known that the recipe of the soul building pill would be auctioned in this grand auction. Unfortunately, I got it first. Ha ha ha, these medicinal herbs are enough to refine over 100 soul-building pills. Hun Xiaoqian, Hun Xiaoqian, you never would have imagined that you would be working so hard for me. Jiang Chen laughed. He was extremely excited. 3 soul Saint Ganoderma, life grain grass, soul eroding bone flower, any one of them was worth 1,000 gold. Most importantly, he might not be able to find so many of them. Without 50,000 supreme grade divine origin stones, it was impossible to gather all of these herbs. Even if he managed to find all of them, who knows how long it would take. Previously, Jiang Chen was also worried about the ingredients for the soul-building pill. He didn't expect Hun Xiaoqian to give him so many herbs so quickly. This is the soul-stealing divine art that Hun Xiaoqian used before? Jiang Chen's expression slightly changed. According to him, this soul-stealing divine art was the foundation of his father and the Lihuan sect. To think that it was a rare soul attack. No wonder the Lihuan sect could stand alone in the blissful city and Fengyin County. The most basic requirement for the soul-stealing divine art is to have a divine king realm soul. There are 3 styles in total. The first style is the soul-stealing art, the second style is to have a divine king realm soul, and the third style is to have a soul-stealing art. The soul-stealing divine art is to have a hierarch realm soul. The first style is to have a divine king art. The second style is to have a king-stealing soul. The third style, the soul-stealing art. It first absorbs a person's soul, then mercilessly kills them, and finally the most powerful possession and control, turning them into its own. What a terrifying soul attack. It really makes one's hair stand on end. Jiang Chen was shocked. This soul-seizing divine art was indeed a technique that was tailor-made for him. With his Emperor Realm soul, he could definitely give it a try. Chen to say. Chen is Li. Although the Tian King is divine art, Li, Jiang Chen never claimed to be a righteous person. The soul-stealing divine art is the best way to deal with evil people. Jiang Chen knew that he shouldn't stay here for long. Otherwise, the Lihuan sect would find him and he would be doomed. With Jiang Chen's current skills, he might have a chance to survive against those below the hierarch realm. However, if he were to encounter a powerful hierarch realm master, he could only avoid them. Jiang Chen found an extremely quiet and secluded cave and entered the Zulong Tower to refine the last effect of the soul-building pill. 3 months passed by quietly. Jiang Chen's soul power had recovered to its peak. It was time to set off to Tongxian Mansion. At this time, only 3 days had passed in the outside world. Tongxian Mansion, here I come. Jiang Chen stepped on the mountain and his eyes shone. At that moment, he stepped on the peak of the void and went straight to Tongxian Mansion. At the border of Fengyin County, the mountains were steep. The mountain range was endless and the aura was like that of a tiger. Hundreds of thousands of li of gray mountain range stretched on endlessly. What was left was a vast expanse of land. The rivers flowed rapidly, suddenly losing their surging momentum. Birds and beasts were flying on the mountain. The birds were chirping and the flowers were fragrant. The spiritual aura was so dense that it was even better than the heavenly earth. At the top of the mountain, there was a 19-story tower that towered above the clouds. It was 900 zhang tall and was surrounded by clouds and mist. It was calm and imposing and stood side by side with the other peaks. At the border of the 100,000 mountain range, there were 4 peaks that pierced through the clouds. On each peak were 4 big words: Tong, Xian, Spirit, Mansion. Is this Tongxian Mansion? The spiritual aura is so dense. If I cultivate here, I'm afraid I'll be able to make great progress. Yeah, I've never seen a place with such dense spiritual aura. It's like a vast ocean of spiritual aura. Tongxian Mansion, I'm finally here. Ha! Tongxian Mansion can't fly in the air. There must be a formation barrier. More and more people began to enter the outer area of Tongxian Mansion. Some of them had even arrived half a year ago, waiting for the opportunity to enter Tongxian Mansion. However, the gate of Tongxian Mansion had never been opened. Everyone could only raise their heads and look forward to it. They set up camp outside the 100,000 mountain range and cultivated. Although they were all top-notch experts and geniuses of their sex, in Tongxian Mansion, a concentration camp for geniuses, no one was given preferential treatment. To them, geniuses were just so. However, today, a skinny white-robed expert appeared in front of Tongxian Mansion. He flew in the air and stood in front of the gate of Tongxian Mansion and said, "Today is the opening day of Tongxian Mansion. I'm the chief instructor of the first batch of students. You can call me Master Tai. Every 100,000 years, Tongxian Mansion will recruit geniuses from outside. You're all the pillars of the northern cold divine region, but it's not easy to become one. You're no different from trash now. Sir Tai said coldly. It had to be said that his words made hundreds of new students feel extremely uncomfortable. No matter what, they were all carefully selected geniuses. They were the best of the best in the Lone Dragon County or other regions. However, in front of Sir Tai, they were all worthless. No matter who it was difficult for them to get over this hurdle in their hearts. Hundreds of Divine King Realm experts were being belittled like this. Perhaps only Tongxian Mansion could do such a thing. There's only a total of 200 people. Not bad. I hope you'll be able to pass this transformation smoothly. Each county has its own instructor. There's a total of 4 counties. Your respective instructors will be here to pick you up soon. I hope you'll be the true students of Tongxian Mansion. Master Tai said calmly. His tone was filled with pride. However, the hundreds of Divine King Realm experts did not dare to say anything because this was not an ordinary place. Tongxian Mansion only accepted experts, not trash. This was a well-known fact. Chapter 2936. Such powerful strength. Lord Tai is many times stronger than the Profound Connection Divine Envoy. Yeah, Lord Tai's strength is not something we can guess. Looks like Lord Tai's words are not without reason. Yeah, we were like frogs at the bottom of a well in the past. We were far from being a true expert. Tongxian Mansion is the best stage for us to display our talents. This time, I must become the brightest star in Tongxian Mansion. The prodigies from the 4 great counties were rubbing their fists as if this stage was specially designed for them. This was the dream of every prodigy, to become the prodigy of the Profound Connection Divine Palace, to become the most dazzling star. After Lord Tai left, 4 experts appeared from the void. There were 3 males and 1 female. Behind each ultimate god expert stood a powerful expert. They should be the seniors of Tongxian Mansion. Students from Fengdu Prefecture. Come here. A young man with a cold expression said in a deep voice. Students from Qiling Prefecture. Come here. Students from Tan Prefecture, come here. The last person said in a deep voice. Students from Lone Dragon Prefecture. Come here. More than 200 disciples were divided into 4 teams and stood in front of the seniors. Each team had more than 50 disciples. From now on, you will need to undergo the baptism of Tongxian Mansion. That's the lightning gathering peak. Whoever can stay there for 10 days will be officially accepted as a disciple of Tongxian Mansion. Of course, if you can't endure it, you can choose to give up and go back to where you came from. The only female mentor said faintly. She had an outstanding temperament and was as beautiful as a flower. Her cold and arrogant aura seemed to push people 1,000 miles away. There was only coldness in her serious eyes. More than 200 Divine King Realm experts looked at the lightning gathering peak that was 1,000 miles away. They were doubtful, but they were more excited. They would not stop even if there was a mountain of swords or a sea of fire in front of them. They only had one goal, to stand in the Profound Connection Divine Palace and become the center of attention. From now on, whoever doesn't enter the Profound Connection Divine Palace will be stripped of their qualifications as a student. The female mentor, Lang Lang, said in an imposing manner. No one dared to look at her. Teacher, can't we wait a little longer? Maybe some students are still on their way. It's such a pity to strip them of their qualifications just like that. Gu Maolu said worriedly. His eyes were filled with sorrow. He was the senior who stood beside the female teacher. A few days ago, he and Bai Ying had already returned to the Profound Connection Divine Palace. However, there was no sign of Zhang Chen among the 200 students. I don't need you to teach me. The female mentor glanced at Gu Maolu and said indifferently. Gu Maolu shrunk his neck. He did not know what to say. He was just a student after all. This was the rule of Tongxian Mansion. No one could change it. However, if Zhang Chen did not return, there was only one answer. He had already been killed by Han Shaoqian. Gu Maolu knew very well that he and Bai Ying fell silent when the 2 experts of the Lihuan sect retreated. Zhang Chen would definitely die if he fought against Han Shaoqian. Even if there was only a slight chance of survival, it would be insignificant. Could he really escape from Han Shaoqian? In Gu Maolu's eyes, it was like a fantasy. Where's Jiang Chen? Why didn't he come? Luo Ping said with a solemn expression. There were only 200+ people from the Lone Dragon County and there were less than 60 of them. However, Jiang Chen was nowhere to be seen. Luo Ping couldn't help but feel a little worried. Could something have happened to him? There are only 60 people in the entire Lone Dragon County who could enter Tongxian Mansion. There are 53 people left. Jiang Chen is not the only one who came. But logically speaking, Jiang Chen shouldn't miss it. Mo Sanpao frowned. Jiang Chen was his savior. He was worried that Jiang Chen did not come to Tongxian Mansion. Jiang Chen did not come with you guys? Luo Ping looked at Dong Huang Tai A and the others. At this moment, the 3 people from the Eastern Emperor sect, Dong Huang Taiji and Murong Yun, had also arrived. Jiang Chen is not in the Eastern Emperor sect. We are also looking for him. If he did not come, he might miss the entrance test of Tongxian Mansion. Dong Huang Taiji shook his head and said solemnly, It's been 10 years. Jiang Chen has already disappeared from the Qilian region. Even the spies of the City Lord Mansion that are scattered all over the Qilian region did not manage to get any news about Jiang Chen. Shi shook his head secretly. Everyone had a bad premonition at this moment. According to Jiang Chen's character, he would definitely appear here if nothing happened to him. Boss Jiang should not die so easily, right? I believe he will come. Mo Qihan said. He was confident in Jiang Chen. Brother Kahan, is Boss Jiang coming to Tongxian Mansion? Suddenly, a hand was placed on Mo Qihan's shoulder. Mo Qihan turned around and saw Lu Dong. Why? You don't recognize me? Let me introduce myself. Chongqing World, Lu Dong. Ha! Lu Dong gave Mo Qihan a bear hug. You and I can come to Tongxian Mansion. Do you think Boss Jiang is not qualified? But he has yet to appear. We are worried about his safety. Mo Qihan sighed and said. Lu Dong frowned and said with a gloomy expression, Did something happen to Boss Jiang? I don't know. I hope he will appear in time. Mo Qihan prayed in his heart. At this moment, everyone in the Qilian region hoped that Jiang Chen would appear. Because they were closely related to Jiang Chen. Everyone's face was filled with worry and melancholy. Enter Tongxian Mansion. The lightning gathering peak is your starting point, but it might also be your ending point. Gu Maolu said with a desolate expression. He sighed and gazed into the distance. He did not want to give up even if there's only a sliver of hope. He hoped that Jiang Chen was still alive and not killed by Han Shaoqian. He hoped that Jiang Chen would appear by his side once again. At this moment, a black ray of light pierced through the void and landed in front of the entrance of the Profound Connection Divine Palace. Gu Maolu's eyes lit up at this moment. Sorry, I'm late. Jiang Chen smiled. I finally made it at the last moment. Shit, you're still alive. Gu Maolu was incomparably excited. His eyes were sparkling. Right now, he just wanted to know how Jiang Chen managed to survive. To Gu Maolu, how did Jiang Chen escape from Han Shaoqian, the guy who gave you Chenglong a headache? Boss Jiang, I told you. He'll definitely come. Lu Dong's eyes lit up and his lips curled into a smile. The others were also silently looking at Jiang Chen, who was flying towards them from afar. Jiang Chen, you're finally here. Chapter 29:37. Jiang Chen smiled faintly and gestured to everyone. When he saw Yan Qingqing again, she was still as beautiful as a fairy, but her eyes were as unfamiliar as before. Shen Lianqiao and the others didn't dare to go against Jiang Chen anymore. This fella actually knew the leader of the seniors in Tongxian Mansion. He's not simple. Since that's the case, let's start the test to enter Tongxian Mansion. The female mentor and the other 3 mentors turned around. Gu Maolu and the other 3 seniors were left behind. Gu Maolu took the lead and brought 200 people into Tongxian Mansion. Everyone on the lightning gathering peak had a solemn expression because the lightning that struck down was heavenly lightning. It was definitely stronger than the heavenly lightning when they broke through. The lightning gathering peak is naturally formed. There are 2 huge valleys on both sides. The lightning gathering peak is filled with lightning all year round. Tempering your body with heavenly lightning is the first step you must take. If you can stay on the lightning gathering peak for 10 days, you will pass the test of Tongxian Mansion and become a member of Tongxian Mansion. Of course, if you fail, You will have to go back to where you came from. Gu Maolu said faintly. His face was filled with arrogance. He looked very majestic in front of the new students. Of course, he also winked at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was speechless. This fellow was obviously in a good mood. After all, Gu Maolu didn't expect him to be able to escape from Han Shaoqian. Heavenly lightning, it's a heavenly lightning source that was sealed. Jiang Chen's heart trembled. His first thought was to take this heavenly lightning for himself because it was much stronger than the Dawn Sky Golden Lightning and Nine Stars Heavenly Tribulation Lightning. Jiang Chen didn't know the name of this heavenly lightning, but he was sure that this heavenly lightning was something he couldn't imagine. To be able to seal the heavenly lightning here, how capable is that person? Jiang Chen's heart was once again hit by a storm. It wasn't easy for him to obtain the heavenly lightning. The one who was truly powerful was the one who sealed the heavenly lightning here, the one who was unparalleled in the world. Not everyone can survive the heavenly lightning. Remember, you have a choice, or you can persevere until you die. Of course, I have another piece of news for you. The last person to walk out of the Thunder Gathering Peak will receive 3 days of cultivation time in the Ghost Valley. As for the Ghost Valley, when you become the disciples of Tongshan Mansion, you will naturally understand what those 11 places are. Gu Maolu's words caused the new geniuses to turn solemn once again. Although they were all experts in their own fields and had peerless talents, they were just freshmen in Tongshan Mansion. There was no preferential treatment for them. This first step was destined to stop a lot of people from entering. What kind of lightning is this? What a terrifying sight. Staying on Thunder Gathering Peak for 10 days is really like hell. Yeah, but if we can't even pass this test, I'm afraid we won't be able to become disciples of Tongshan Mansion. I have to stay even if I have to risk my life. That's right. I'm a peerless genius from Mitsubishi Boundary. A mere baptism of heavenly lightning is nothing to me. Humph. Everyone gathered their courage and were ready to step onto the Thunder Gathering Peak. Gu Maolu then transmitted his voice to Jiang Chen. If you can do it, you must persevere till the end. The Spirit Valley is one of the 4 great sacred realms of the Profound Connection Divine Palace. If you can cultivate in the Spirit Valley, your body and soul will improve by leaps and bounds. The benefits of cultivating in the Spirit Valley are not worth mentioning. Gu Maolu's firm words caused Jiang Chen to nod his head in silence. If it was any other test, he might be a little afraid, but the baptism of heavenly lightning was as easy as eating a meal. Jiang Chen? A pale-faced, scholarly-looking young man walked past Jiang Chen. He smiled slightly, but there was a hint of playfulness in his smile. What's the matter? Jiang Chen said indifferently. This man was quite powerful. He had already reached the peak of the mid-divine king realm. His eyes were filled with pride. Even among the hundreds of new geniuses, he could be considered as one of the best. Tianxing Boundary, Divine Puppet Sect, Yang Yuan. I've long heard of your name. If there's a chance, I'll defeat you. Yang Yuan said indifferently. He was calm and full of pride. I'll be waiting. Jiang Chen shook his head and sighed. He had too many opponents, but those who tried to go against him were all trampled under his feet. I hope you won't disappoint me. The Tianxing Boundary is your legend. I hope you won't fall short of your fame. Yang Yuan turned around and went straight to the Thunder Gathering Peak. Gu Maolu and the others stared at the 200 Divine King experts. He was one of them 100,000 years ago. Today, seeing Jiang Chen and the others stepping onto the Lightning Gathering Peak, he felt quite emotional. Brother Mao, if you're tired, you can go and rest. We'll stay here and watch. That's right. Brother Mao. We feel bad for letting you do this job. Ha! Brother Mao, do you know that freshman? Gu Maolu was the leader of the 3 senior students. Although his strength was not at the top among the senior students, his reputation was extremely resounding. People called him the righteous and generous little Meng Chong. To put it bluntly, as long as one had money and divine origin stones, he would be a big shot no matter where he went. No need. All right, keep your eyes open in the future. He's my brother. If anyone dares to do anything to him, remember to tell me. Gu Maolu said. Of course. Since Brother Mao has instructed me, I definitely won't disappoint you. Gu Maolu and the others stared at the Thunder Gathering Peak. 3 days passed by silently. However, no one came down from the peak. Thunderbolts pierced through the mountain. In the valley, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. The origin energy of the heavenly lightning continued to wreak havoc. Within the thunderbolts, there seemed to be anger and resentment, as if it wanted to devour the heavens. On the seventh day, finally, 3 people could not hold on any longer. However, none of them retreated. Even when facing such a violent heavenly lightning, they still clenched their teeth and endured. Strange, why is the heavenly lightning so weak? It must be weakened. If it were to release its own heavenly lightning, I'm afraid not many people would be able to resist it. Jiang Chen frowned and murmured to himself. If these words were heard by others, they would probably spurt out a mouthful of blood. All of us are trying our best to resist the power of the heavenly lightning baptism, and you said that the heavenly lightning baptism is a little weak? In reality it was true. Jiang Chen felt that the heavenly lightning was different. However, to a freak like him, the true power of the heavenly lightning was like a tickle. On the 8th day, the 3 people could not hold on any longer. However, none of them left the thunder-gathering peak. They were all top geniuses from the 4 provinces. Why should they be weaker than others? However, stubbornness would sometimes harm them. The 3 people were completely destroyed by the heavenly lightning, their souls dispersed. To them, the heavenly lightning was a life-and-death struggle. The deaths of the 3 people caused everyone to be even more vigilant. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.